lose interest because they can't keep up with the meta. Overwatch 2 is even worse since you can change champions mid-round, so certain heroes work better in different spots on the map. Yeah, definitely. Sweats kill games. They do.
Don't agree with each other on what direction the game should go in. And what that essentially means to me is that in terms of gameplay, this is the inheritor to Overwatch 1's crown. Now, from a world-building perspective, it is not an inheritor to Overwatch 1. And that is the thing that's tragic about Overwatch 1. So many people fell in love with the world, only to be profoundly let down, where the Overwatch world has basically just turned into an excuse to have branded crossover events. We live in hell. But at least if you like that gameplay, you've now got a game that seems catered to you. And NetEase's challenge then is avoiding the mistakes of Blizzard. On balance, I actually think they will largely succeed in this one, but only
are they going to be able to succeed or not? I think that it depends. I don't know. I mean, as I said, I don't think that a game like this is going to have a long lifespan, but I think also people need to be more accepting of playing a game for a while and then not playing it anymore. Because I feel like nowadays what ends up happening is because people get so fixated on constantly and like wanting to invest all of their time and energy into like one specific game, and in doing so, I think it just, I mean, I would say I think it just kind of burns people out, and people want one game to be everything that it could possibly be. Yeah, just move on. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, yeah, the game's going to be popular and fun for a while, and then when it's not, then stop playing it. I feel like people try to make too much of an investment into video games.
Time will tell. If you want to check out another pretty hot bit of news, this video next.
Yep, kind of like Minecraft. Well, it's like WoW, where like people want WoW to be like their game that they can play for 10 hours a day every single day and not run out of things to do. And they want it to be like, this is the term, right, is a forever game. Like, okay, I'm going to log on to this game and play it all the time, constantly, and that's going to be my focus. We've been trained to want that. Yeah, I think that's in some cases generally true. Yeah.
This is a graveyard.
Even Sunraku doesn't only play Shangri-La Frontier. Yeah, true. That's a good point. You underestimate the people only play one game? Well, I do, but the issue is that if you cater to those people, you end up doing what Blizzard did with WoW, where you introduce like endless RNG loot systems, endless farms, endless gameplay. Because if you want to make somebody play the game all the time, you have to create content that makes it unfun to play the game some of the time. And that's what happened with Shadowlands, and that's what happened with Legion and BFA too. So I haven't really played the game like recently, so I'm not sure really what it is now, but that's basically what the problem is. You sure? Yeah, I am. I think that's really the reason, because people want to feel like they're getting effort out of their time. Release will not do a Blizzard and keep a zombie like WoW. I don't know. Like, this is what my plan is. I think I'm going to play this game tomorrow. I think I'm going to play I'm going to play and try out Marvel Rivals and see what the game is like. Yeah, I've already downloaded it. Where is it? It's somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. It's right there. So yeah, I'm gonna play it and see what happens. Gambling, I think, actually is becoming so fucking corrosive that it might be straight up destroying society soon. Because so many people don't understand math.
The major news outlets weren't the first to call the election for Donald Trump. It wasn't even a polling group or a political organization. Instead, it was Polymarket that beat everyone to the...
Well, they already... That's not true. They called the election for Kamala Harris before it even happened. And they said that the election was going to... Oh, yeah, it's going to be a sweep and it's fine. The reason why Polymarket was taken seriously is because all of the polls and... Like, you think I'm going to trust CNN? Fuck no. I'm going to trust some pollster? Absolutely not. I'm going to trust where people put their fucking money.
The Punch confirming the results hours before it hit the news. It's not the only reason they've been in the headlines. In the wake of the election, the FBI raided the home of Polymarket's CEO, Shane Copland, and confiscated his phone, although he wasn't actually arrested. So who got the spooks so spooked? Polymarket is a relatively new company that offers people a different way to gamble. Users can buy shares on the outcomes of real-world events, with the odds depending on what people are willing to pay for either result.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything has been commodified into a gamble, into a parlay. Every single aspect of existence. Super Bowl, Daniel Penny guilty. TikTok being banned, like highest grossing movie, everything.
Practice a completely deregulated system using USDT. And Polymarket's About page is keen to tell you that there is no house and they don't actually take a cut of the wages or have any stake in the outcome. They've also said that the raid was nothing more than political punishment from the outgoing administration. But the whole site does seem to exist.
I don't know.
An illegal grey area. Polymarket's detractors have accused it of being just another shady crypto experiment designed to take people's money, while the company itself and their supporters see it as a less exploitative improvement on gambling and the future of an industry that's always going to exist. But before we can
is it good or bad that it exists? I think that it is. I'm not a fan of gambling at all, but I don't think that you can stop people from doing it. And I think that actually you can, but too many people in the US like gambling.
Can ask these questions
love it.
and dive deeper into Polymarkets, we need to take a step back and consider the context of all of this happening in. These days, gambling is everywhere and has had a massive effect on culture, most notably in the world of sports. Until recently, though, there were lots of barriers for entry to betting on sports. To do it legally, you generally needed to go into an actual brick-and-mortar store. There are ID checks and other barriers to entry, so compared to today, it did take a lot more time to start wagering. Gambling was
Have you guys ever driven by a gambling place and you saw the people that were outside of it that are looking like the fucking lost souls at the beginning in the Undead Asylum of Dark Souls 1? Where they're just like, they're sitting there holding their scratch cards in their head, leaned up against the fucking pavement. Yeah, oh my god.
On TV as well, but there were still restrictions.
Look like heroin addicts, they do.
Participation rates pretty steady over time. But today, it's a completely different story, and now people are gambling on every single thing in society. From which movies hit in the box office.
That's right.
To which presidents come into power. All the way to which wars are won. In 2018, the US Supreme Court reversed a federal ban on sports betting, leaving it up to the states to decide. And most have chosen to legalize it, which also coincided with the rise of mobile gambling apps.
And you're going to have more... well, actually, it's pretty much all of them have legalized it, so it doesn't even matter.
Since 2018, there's also been a massive rise in the amount of people with gambling addiction problems. Both surveys and charities running...
What are the odds? What a coincidence. Why is that happening? I wonder.
Gambling addiction hotlines have confirmed it. A research paper by Stephen Shapiro from the University of South Carolina showed that sports and betting have an almost symbiotic relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
The rise in popularity of one leads to more attention for the other and vice versa.
That's right, because people that aren't into sports but they like gambling get into sports so they can gamble on sports. And that people that aren't into gambling will get into gambling because they're really good at sports and they've watched a lot, so they think that they can win. Yeah, exactly. Why? Because they think they can make free money. That's why. It's simple. I'm happy to talk about crypto gambling sites if you want. How predatory they are. I lost almost 80k crypto on there. That's a lot of money, man.
Time, the two industries have become completely enmeshed. We've seen similar results in the UK, where regulation's been lax for years. Now nearly every football team in the UK has a betting company logo on their jersey. Gambling ads...
And this is what... this is... and also, do you remember how... in order to watch a football game, you have to tell the TV that you're 18 years old? Oh, that's right. That's because you don't do that. These gambling ads are targeting children. And basically, like, kids are getting farmed into gambling extremely early on now.
Now almost run non-stop during sports programming in the US. American football and its frequent pauses have even let them sneak in between individual plays. And this video
NFL is running way too many sports betting ads. They're going to keep doing it. And also, it's even happening in esports now, too. I feel like Counter-Strike is kind of the mining canary for that. But I think it's going to continue happening for other sports as well.
To say that gambling as a whole is a terrible thing, but it's the positive association with gambling.
Gambling is terrible. There's no positive thing that gambling will ever add to your life. Gambling can only be a negative. It is a net negative to society, and everybody in the entire world would be better off collectively if it never happened.
That could be slightly concerning, and we're not just talking about sports. We're talking about kid gamblers. The promotion of gambling on anything and everything.
We got the kids on it, all
In a 2014
right.
report, the UK Gambling Commission noted a massive rise in problems with gambling among 11 to 17-year-olds. The amount of
11 years old and you're getting it twisted. 11 years old. Oh my God.
of kids who would qualify as having problems with gambling more than doubled from 0.7% to 1.5%, and that's only in the space of a single year. These are children who've been having problems with hard gambling, but a different kind of softer gambling has been promoted to children for years through predatory practices that have become common in video games. As games have evolved, companies realized they could make far more money through a so-called freemium model. The basic game...
It's not about being freemium, it's about having gambling features. That's where the money really comes from.
Play is usually free, with added content, cosmetics, or even in-game advantages costing extra. The real money comes in from game purchases and microtransactions. Over time, they found out that the best way to make the most money with the system was to create an in-game casino system. They started as a way for players with less time on their hands to access items they could otherwise grind for. However, this wasn't enough for some companies, so they turned to the one business proficient at ensuring its customers' return: casinos. And things started to spiral out of control when companies saw how much players spent on loot boxes. Games like Call of Duty would start introducing loot boxes to reward players with cosmetic items. Nothing that would ever enhance the gameplay or even give you any money back. Players loved changing the appearance of their main character to suit themselves better, and add their own identity to the character. Finding new items became a fun little gimmick that came with leveling up. Loot boxes triggered feelings similar to what one might experience while gambling. The anticipation
loot boxes are gambling. I mean, they definitely are. It's not even a question if they are or not. It's just, is it as corrosive as like actual gambling? No, it's not even remotely close. But it is gambling, fundamentally.
With the mystery of what's in the box, the excitement that followed finding an item that you've been looking for a while, or the disappointment that settles in when you realize you weren't so lucky this time around. Loot boxes used to be discoverable in-game, or granted to you for free upon login. These days, multiple games require spending real money to get them, and we're talking about major gaming companies where you've already paid to access the game itself. And not only does this incentivize especially children to spend ridiculous amounts of money on different items, but they're also paying far more because of the gambling mechanics, all without their parents' knowledge. You see, loot boxes are...
That, in my opinion, is completely the parents' fault. I think that if your kid is spending your money without you knowing, you're being a bad parent, and I don't blame that on the developers or anything like that. The idea that now everybody in the entire world has to abide by the worst parenting techniques of the country. Imagine if we lived the world like that. There's no way. Bad parenting. Yeah. If you can't control your kid using your credit card, like, maybe you deserve to lose your money.
Operates on a system of rarity. They're designed to be as similar to slot machines as possible. And while it makes major gaming publishers tons of money, it also prepares them for a lifetime of gambling. And all of this has fueled a new renaissance for gambling, which brings us straight back to Polymarket. If you're still
I think also like streamers and people like that are like a vehicle for that. Like think about, for example, Aiden Ross or like any of the streamers on Kick. I think that having them streaming gambling all the time and like gambling on the websites, it gets people into knowing that it's cool. XQC, yeah, sure, right? Like that definitely gets younger audiences to know about it.
Around with a bulky, outdated wallet, let me introduce you to Exter, the creators of the world's smartest wallets. These aren't your ordinary wallets. They're slim, sleek, and packed with features that'll make your life so much easier.
I've had the same wallet for 21
years. Super slim, holding over 12 cards in cash while staying half the size of traditional wallets. Their signature trigger mechanism lets you access your cards with just the push of a button. It's simple, fast, and so satisfying. And if you're worried about security, Exter has you covered with the RFID blocking, so that your data stays safe from wireless skimming and theft. Plus, they're also made with sustainable materials like vegan Italian leather and space-grade aluminum.
Vegan leather? Wait, what?
This solar-powered tracker ensures you never lose your wallet again. 2 hours of sunlight gives you 3 months of charge. And with the two-way ringing feature, you can find your wallet or even your phone in seconds. Plus, you'll get separation alerts and access to a worldwide lost and found network, so that you're always connected to your essentials. Right now, Exter is running the biggest sale of the year, up to 55% off.
To be fair, that's actually kind of a cool use.
From December 9th to December 25th. So if you're looking for a perfect gift or an upgrade for yourself, this is your chance. Just use the link in the description below, partner.exter/moon, and use the code MOON to take advantage of this amazing deal. Trust me, once you try Exter, you'll never want to go back to your old wallets.
Track me, daddy? Ooh.
They've been one of the leading horses in a race to monetize a new way of gambling, a peer-to-peer marketplace for betting on the outcomes of real-world events. The site mixes crypto, gambling, and the stock market all into one. In normal gambling, people place wagers on an outcome. In roulette, for example, if you place a bet on black and the ball lands on one of the black numbers, then
you get all your money.
Polymarket and other sites like it are a little different. Instead, it's like you can buy shares for each outcome. So you could either buy shares that the ball will land on black or that it won't land on black.
Yeah, I love how they've commodified every aspect of existence into gambling. Is it going to rain today? I don't know. You got $3 on it? Okay, I got 10. You know, every single thing in life now is a gamble.
You can win is decided by what other people are willing to pay. If
Yeah,
most users
presidential
think
election,
there's
well,
a
that's only one
55%
small
chance
thing.
it will land on black, then the share will cost 55 cents and pay out $1 if you're right. This system means that you can either just bet on the outcome or wait for the result by buying shares of one of the outcomes. Or you can buy and sell shares before the outcome even happens, either making a profit or a loss based on how the consensus has changed. It all means that no third party is taking a cut.
That's crazy. So, like, how do they make fucking money?
The problems
I
come
wonder.
up instead, as we'll find out. If you're going to believe the founder Shane Copland's social media posts, Polymarket began in a bathroom on a laptop sitting on top of a laundry.
What the fuck happened to that, bro? What were you playing? What got you mad, man? Like, what was it?
Baskets, but it wouldn't stay there for long. Launched in 2020, the site was functional months before the election.
He lost the bet. Yeah.
By offering a way to bet on the outcome, it picked up steam, and by around October, Polymarket had already attracted $4 million from crypto and venture capitalist investors.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
After the election died down, though, the site fell into stagnation for years. Then in 2022, the CFTC banned them from letting American citizens use the platform and fined the site $1.4 million.
That's a lot.
Strangely, this didn't seem to make much of a difference at all. Whether the ban actually worked is up in the air. It's hard to tell whether Polymarket's compliance extended beyond lip service. But it wasn't until the 2024 election cycle that Polymarket's growth picked up again. This time, though, it was going to get a whole lot more popular than anyone expected.
I think that people are going to try to stop Polymarket because it interferes with mainstream narratives. So basically, a lot of times, one of the strongest things is the power of consensus. So what ends up happening is that if you build a consensus around, you know, like, oh, everybody knows this is going to happen, well then, you know, you're going to have more people that assume it's going to happen. It's too out in the open. Yeah, exactly, right? But like, and you think about it, because you think about the political machine and the people that are in mainstream media that are trying to make one outcome occur. But if you have a gambling website that can break that narrative and then be accurate, and then it disproves you, that damages your credibility. You see what I'm saying?
As reported by Fortune, the trading volume on Polymarket stayed at around $40 to $60 million for the first 5 months of 2024. Then in June, it almost doubled to 110 million. The site was picking up speed. And a month later, this tripled again, climbing past 500 million by September. Finally, with the election around the corner, it rose by another 500% to 2.5 billion. Since then, trading volumes
$2.5 billion in a month? Oh my God. Republicans gamble more than Democrats? Yeah, you've typed that twice now. I don't know what your point is. You're just typing that. You're wasting everybody's space. Didn't you use Polymarket as a baseline for the last election? Yeah. It's not that, I don't know what you're doing.
But not nearly to the levels they were at before the election. The business model and the site itself seem to at least have some staying power, and recent news might be an indication that some people are very worried about its growth. While the media and opinion polls had Trump and Kamala in a dead heat, the consensus on Polymarket was much more in Trump's favor. In the market for who would win on the 1st of November, a few days before the election, Trump was sitting at nearly 63%, with Harris on just under 37%.
Yeah, never trust a poll. Trust where people put their money. That's the thing, bro. Like, polls, like, and this is why I think they're going to try to get rid of it. It's because it totally destroys an established industry.
When Trump won, Polymarket
was accurate. Yeah.
Victory.
You guys got a lot of flack for that, and I just appreciate you guys standing up for it. And hopefully you guys feel the same sense of victory that we do.
Now, you could give a lot of reasons as to why. A Trump administration could be more likely to let them operate without much regulation, and it might let them have US-based users again. And during the election, people were slandering Polymarket as being outrageously right-wing, all due to their prediction.
What a bunch of fucking retards. Why would you even say that? What the hell do you mean?
Would actually win the election, unlike mainstream polling that suggested the race was close. Their user base's bias to being pro-Trump was also
it's so obvious. They're fucking lying. Like, how are we not addressing the obvious elephant in the room here?
Mainstream polling that suggested the race was close. Their user base's bias bias to being pro-Trump was also proven correct as well, adding weight to their claims.
The user bias on any social media platform is pro-Trump. If you go on YouTube, it's pro-Trump. If you go on Twitter, it's pro-Trump. If you go on Twitch, it's generally pro-Trump. Maybe not on Blue Sky. Reddit, the only reason why Reddit isn't pro-Trump is because everybody who was pro-Trump got banned. They systematically removed all of the Trump subreddits in like 2019 or something. So, yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Blue Sky's echo chamber? Yeah, so I don't, like, this is the kind of thinking that mainstream media has.
Representing the true voice of the people. But just a few days later, though, the FBI suddenly raided Polymarket's offices in New York.
That's ridiculous.
Confiscating Copland's phone and laptop. While other similar exchanges have been allowed to operate and let users place bets on US politics, Polymarket had not gotten the go-ahead. Meanwhile, it's almost certain that lots of US citizens have been using the platform,
of course,
bypassing the region lock with VPN. Whether it's Polymarket's responsibility to investigate and stop this, though, is a legal question. So while they were obviously breaking the deal, they also have tons of plausible deniability that could possibly see them through a lawsuit if nothing else comes up. But of course, Polymarket were quick to claim that it was all a case of political punishment by the outgoing Democrats.
I tend to believe them. But I also don't think that it's Democrats. I think that it's people that want to own and have ownership over a narrative, and Polymarket provides actual citizens with a real temperature check of what people truly believe because it's attached to collateral. I think that's really, Democrats maybe like in this circumstance, but it will happen with anything. It's weird to bet on elections. I don't know. I mean, shit.
An objection that Polymarket's detractors have raised is based on the fact that it's unregulated. They say it opens the doors to insider trading, market manipulation, and other predatory practices.
That's true, it does.
Just a few days before the election, Fortune.com published a piece accusing Polymarket of being a full of wash trading, a scam where users buy and sell lots of the same shares over and over again to make it look like a hot commodity. The crypto firms that came up with this analysis state up to a third of the activity surrounding the presidential market, the largest on the site, was wash trading. Other smaller markets on the site are even more vulnerable to manipulation. Their low trading volumes make it far easier for people to artificially move the markets with relatively small amounts of money. It seems like these kinds of things are almost expected in unregulated online financial markets. But perhaps the biggest...
Yeah, like the World of Warcraft auction house. People did this in WoW. Like, of course they're going to do this.
Reason behind the US's new crackdown on Polymarkets could be that it's something they don't control or make a profit from. With no third party taking a cut or managing the odds, Polymarket gives people a crystal clear view of what the consensus is on certain events.
Yeah.
It offers a perspective of the world that they can't control and is therefore dangerous.
That's right.
Governments
That's right.
also rarely
Yes.
have a problem with gambling if they're the ones profiting from it. The lottery, which is often a massive slice of the country's entire gambling industry, is insanely profitable for them.
I don't see how somebody can say the government is like, you know, the dictator of like whether good gambling or bad gambling exists when you have a lottery. Like, if the lottery didn't make money, then the government would eventually go out of business, right? So, like, the lottery does keep making money. This has literally everything to do with influencing politics through gains. It sets us on a dangerous path where getting paid is more of a concern than the policies themselves. I feel like the policies can also involve getting paid intrinsically, so I don't know if that's a good argument or not. I'd have to think about it more.
Money, but without the inflation because they're taking it out of people's pockets. If Polymarket's model of peer-to-peer gambling takes off for other things, it could severely dent both these profits and the ones they tax from regular casinos and bookmakers.
Yeah.
It's not something they want to happen. While it might be unlikely, with so much money on the line, why would they risk anything? At the end of the day, Polymarket isn't the problem, and gambling itself in moderation isn't a terrible thing. The issue...
It's not a good thing, though. Gambling is bad. The degree of it just makes it worse.
Is that Polymarket is just a symptom of a culture that's let gambling go way too far, and the media is only concerned because it's a tiny part of the industry that the establishment
the reason why gambling is going even farther is because of the media, and it's because of established corporations. See, media needs advertisement, and gambling pays the most advertising money. Like, basically, if you got a sponsor for, let's say, $10,000, well, you could get a gambling sponsor for like $3,000 to $5,000, or sorry, $30,000 to $50,000 dollars instead, right? It's like a 3 to 5x multiplier, if not more. So that's the real reason why these companies are paying it lip service. It's because they're getting paid for it.
A cut from. All the other rigged forms of gambling where you're pretty much guaranteed to lose money are absolutely fine in their eyes, and regulation has been almost willingly useless. In 2021, the UK government took measures like adding a minimum time between spins of 2.5 seconds. It's a hard rule that's definitely going to slow down.
What is it? Banned losses disguised as wins? Ooh.
Between spins of 2.5 seconds. It's a hard rule that's definitely going to slow down the problem and prevent even more people from falling into addiction. That is, unless people figure out that they can just open up 2 separate websites. Plus, it really doesn't take that much time to sink an entire paycheck into online slots, even with those.
Yeah, if people want to ruin their life and waste all their money, they're gonna find a way to do it.
Minor restrictions. Meanwhile, you've got streamers on Kick streaming slots to tens of thousands of people, and you can pretty safely assume that a large part of the audience are children. The big streamers often aren't using their own money. Gambling sites give them massive wallets to burn live on stream.
There's no evidence of this, but a lot of people believe it's true.
And potential users. They have big floats, and most of the slot games work by buying a certain amount of spins and then winning money back. So each time these guys play, there's all these flashy graphics of massive wins showing up on screen.
Yeah, of course.
While this isn't really lying, it's definitely meant to be as misleading as possible.
There is evidence? Where's the evidence? Oh, where's the evidence of it? Where is it? What's the evidence? Because as far as I know, there is no evidence. I haven't seen any evidence before. The streamers said it themselves. I don't think they did. Yeah. There were leaks some time ago. A leak doesn't mean it was certain. It looks like we don't have any evidence. It's because it didn't happen. There was no evidence. If there was, I would have known about it. I would have made a video about it. Wait a second. There's a Rothstein, one slot spreader as leaderboard. He isn't on the leaderboard, even though he's won millions with fake money. Otherwise, he'd be first on the leaderboard. Okay, so... That's not, like... That's not enough for me. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, maybe... I think that's a good point. But that's not enough for me to say, oh, that means he's using fake money. There could be 5 other reasons. Yeah, you know what? I think that we're looking at... We need... it's evidence, but it's not proof.
As it creates the connection between win massive amounts of money and the slot website they're using. Even as you see the laws of probability work themselves out and the balances slowly go down, it doesn't matter. You can tell how integral these social media sites are for gambling companies' marketing plan. Otherwise, they wouldn't be funding an entire streaming platform just for this.
Absolutely.
But one of the worst things about all of this is that addicts can never really escape an easy way to indulge their addiction.
That's right.
Unless you entirely stop using a smartphone, it's always going to be there right in your pocket, or even on Times Square. It's like a smoker trying to quit smoking while keeping a pack of cigarettes in their pockets. And that's not to say there shouldn't ever be gambling adverts, not at all. But it's the way it's been adopted by everyone, by everything, where every single event in society is made to just be another part of gambling, which could be...
I actually think Polymarket is like the least of people's concerns. I think sports betting is the worst one because it's what targets all ages and all demographics. Polymarket is still relatively small compared to sports gambling.
Especially dangerous for those constantly losing when their entire addiction is centered around the dopamine rush that comes with a winning bet. And when you run out of money to keep it going, it's like being dropped in the icy water of reality. It all comes rushing on and you realize just how much money you lost and what the real life consequences are.
It's a lot of money.
Which is one of the things that makes the mainstream promotion of this so unique and gripping, is that everybody's trying to avoid this feeling, especially in a society where people are becoming poorer and poorer, uneven to even safely survive, constantly being shown this option.
This is why people gamble, by the way. People gamble because they have no hope of living a life of any degree of, how could I say it? A life with no degree of self-respect or decency or dignity. And so they just start doing whatever they can.
Where you can gamble on everything. Which movies hit in the box office. Which president gets elected. hoodwinking millions and millions of people trying to avoid the reality of losing, trying to avoid the reality of their own situation in life. And while in moderation it can be fun and fine, the problem comes when every single thing is monetized in this way. When you're a kid, it's loot boxes. And as you grow up, this sort of thing just becomes normal. But it is
well, you're getting groomed. It's effectively what's happening, right? Is like you're grooming an entire generation of kids to grow up and want to gamble. Like at the beginning, you start them off with loot boxes, and then they see sports betting on ads as teenagers, and then as adults, they see, you know, stake and sports betting they're able to do it themselves.
And to remember though that there is always still hope for recovery. We're built to deal with adversity and keep going through tough conditions and not resist temptation. But with how much this stuff is pushed into people's faces, it's almost a sign of a society that's completely financially unstable, where materialism and money is promoted against everything else. Lots of addicts look back on
That's always been how it is, and it's always going to be how it will be.
Bet and know that if they had lost instead of won, that whole habit would have never been formed and they would have escaped. Ironically, the dangers of gambling are always created by being lucky in the beginning. People who've revealed it to their families and their friends are often surprised at how willing they are to help, but the absolute worst move is to keep it to yourself and bear the burden of being alone. It isn't a problem that people should be ashamed about, especially when it's promoted in almost everything, even just subtly without you ever realizing. But as we've seen, it's so ingrained into our culture today that children are already getting addicted before they have a bank account. And Polymarket and its competitors are therefore just the tip of a giant iceberg in a culture.
Kids take their birthday money and Christmas money now and they spend it on gambling. They're like 12. It's crazy how big this is now.
Addicted to gambling. Regulating it is probably a good idea, but it's a comparatively tiny problem compared to the awful state of modern gambling itself.
It doesn't matter if you regulate it because people will just use VPNs. If you want to actually regulate it, you need to have a real ID authentication with the internet, and you need to remove VPNs. Other than that, there's no way to stop this from happening. It's just the truth.
Cause of why people are turning to this so much more than they have in the past. When money, materialism, and economic insecurity is a mounting problem in society, then it's no surprise that this stuff is so legitimized in almost every facet of society. But tackling that problem rocks the boat for everyone. It would dent the tax revenue and the lobbyist money that
nobody's going to do that.
The gambling industry.
There's a lot of money into this. No, I've talked about this a lot. I mean, like, for me, I've probably talked about this to the point where people might be a little bit annoyed about it. But I am very much I think people need to have a degree of awareness for this, because there's just so much money that's been lost, and so many people that have like ruined their lives over stuff like this. And like, I don't really, it's weird because I don't really feel a lot of sympathy for the people that gamble and lose all of their money, because I think that they're just stupid. And it's like, I generally don't feel bad for people that engage in stupid things and then damage their life because of their bad behavior, right? Like, I don't feel any sympathy for them. I don't care about them. But I also think that it is manipulative. It is bad for people. It's not good. They're victims. Well, they're victims of their own stupidity, in my opinion, right? I mean, you look, all you have to do is logically look at this, think for a few seconds, and then you'll realize that it's a bad idea. But is it their fault? It's their responsibility. I mean, if you think that you're losing all of your money on something and you're spending more money, at a certain point, a person has to be accountable for their own actions, and a person is accountable for their own actions. If you're spending all of your money on gambling, then maybe you're the one that's at fault. That's it. You just have to take full accountability for it. Yes, nobody has ever broken a gambling addiction, or any probably addiction, by not taking accountability for their addiction. Like, it's just, I feel like that's like step number one, is to stop acting like it's happening to you and take accountability for your own actions. So no free will. Children are not accountable? Well, you're right about that. That's a totally different conversation. So yeah. Banning things will not resolve anything. It will make it less common. It's definitely true. And I take a long, hard look how much money I was spending on gacha games and really making a change for myself. Nobody else will do it for me. Yeah, exactly. Taking accountability means doubling down on your mistakes if you have no better frame of reference. Everybody has a frame of reference. Like, any logical person can understand that the probability of winning a gamble is extremely low. I think that even stupid people can see that, and that's why they're ashamed of it. And the reason why they're ashamed of it is because they know it's stupid. They know that it's stupid, and they don't want to admit it. That's the main reason. It's a huge Amazon strike that's going to be happening.
Shop great deals now
Look at this.
on Amazon.
Wow.
Package we deliver with pain and suffering.
This
Yeah.
is my third holiday I'm giving to Amazon. I haven't been around for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
It's constant speed up for the holidays.
It's like twice as dangerous, I would say, because everyone's
Damn.
moving twice as fast and there's twice as much work.
Every horror story you read about Amazon is true, but worse. And that is why I voted.
True, but worse. Wait, so instead of pissing in bottles, you just piss on yourself? Yeah, what does that
Yes,
mean?
for the strike.
Workers at the only unionized Amazon warehouse are going on strike during the company's busiest season.
Ultimately, Amazon only speaks one language, and that's money. We're going to hit them where it hurts until they decide it's time to come to the table.
Workers with the ALU plan to strike the JFK 8 facility on Staten Island later in December.
What do they want?
We can't wait anymore.
We're not joking around here. Right now, it is peak season at Amazon. It's Amazon's most profitable time of year.
Well,
Yep.
It's pretty typical of Amazon to call mandatory overtime every holiday season.
They've been asking for us to work 11.5-hour days, 5 days a week.
With the lunch break.
That's a lot. Yeah, yeah, that's a lot, man.
It's a 12-hour and 30-minute shift, so you're there majority of the day, majority of the week.
They have no right to demand that of their workers when they could fulfill those same roles with voluntary extra time and surge pay for the workers that want to take it on.
Workers say peak season exacerbates existing safety issues.
I think that they're making a really good point, to be honest. Amazon doesn't want to pay people like higher wages to get them to work, and so they just force everybody to do it anyway on like a categorical basis. I think that really sucks. Yeah, that's really shitty.
It's extremely chaotic, especially at that time. Management is really looking to push numbers.
Yeah, of course.
That means cutting a lot of corners, bending the rules, pushing conditions that are unsafe.
I mean, a lot of times the conveyor belts get backed up, so you're packing boxes, but you can't even put them on the conveyor belt. You're forced to build up stacks of boxes around you. There's no room on the floor to walk. Yeah, there's safety hazards everywhere.
Despite
The silver lining for this is that I think this is going to be a job that will be 80% automated sooner than later. Like right now, this is a growing pain of technology. And I feel like, because I mean, nobody wants to work in a place like that. It probably sucks working there. Like, yeah, and I feel like it's just better for everybody, honestly.
Only 36% of
Yeah.
warehouse workers in 2022, Amazon was responsible for 53% of all injuries in the warehouse industry.
Amazon is fine.
Amazon employed 36% of the U.S. warehouse workers. The company was responsible more than half. Wow. Well, I wonder if the term was responsible, does this mean that they admitted fault, or does it just mean that they were responsible as in the accident happened at their company? But because I don't know if this is, yeah, I'm not sure about this, but
to let people
found at fault.
die
Yeah, if they're
in
found
the
at fault,
wake
then yeah, that's
of
really bad.
Tornadoes and any
Yeah.
kind of natural disaster for their profits. And
Yeah, this happened recently, and there was also, I think it was a flood too, but I think it was a different, no, that was a different place. It was not Amazon. Never mind.
as Amazon workers,
Yeah, this is a
know
tornado.
what we deserve.
Yeah.
And we're not going to take it anymore.
Workers at the JFK
We're
Amazon
not
warehouse in
gonna
Staten
take
Island.
The
it.
problem with a strike
No,
like this
we're
is
not
that the
gonna
people that
take
work in
it.
these fulfillment centers,
We're not gonna take
it's
it
probably a really easy job.
anymore.
And I think that strikes become less effective the easier it is to replace somebody. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything, right? Yeah, they're easy to replace.
To unionize in 2022, but they still don't have a contract.
Amazon is pretending like it never happened.
Their stance is we don't exist.
And they ignore everything from the NLRB.
And right now they're in federal court arguing that unions are unconstitutional.
Well, that kind of nips the problem in the bud. Yeah. So you've got a problem with unions, we'll just get rid of unions. Yeah, problem fucking solved. Shit.
Amazon is one of the wealthiest companies in the world. They can keep us in court for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
The only thing that will get them to negotiate a union contract with us is impacting their bottom line.
We've pledged several hundred workers so far to participate, and we're still working and organizing.
Like, I don't think it's crazy for Amazon to pay a bit more on the holidays and to make it optional and just pay a really high premium. I don't think that's unfair.
Building up our structure in JFK so we can hopefully mobilize a lot more and really impact productions this year.
They can afford it, yeah.
We're fed up. We're done.
A lot of us don't want to go on strike. You know, we want to work, but we want to work for fair wages. We want to work for at least $30 an hour. We want to get adequate breaks so that we're not getting injured all the time. We want to be able to go to the bathroom and drink water without getting...
You want to go to the bathroom and drink water? Bro, these people... Amazon's got to call the Pinkertons and shut this down. Yeah, before this gets out of control. Come on.
Written up. And if we have to go on strike to make Amazon come to the table and give us the respect that we deserve, then we're going to do it.
So apparently this has started. Building power for working people.
Thank you so much.
We'll see what happens, right?
For watching our video. If
Yeah,
you'd like to see
I'll
more
link you all the
stories
video.
like this one, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to get more Perfect Union.
You're paying
in your
$30
feed.
an hour?
And if you have any ideas for stories that you would like for us to investigate, just drop them in the comments below.
I feel like paying $30 an hour, I mean, that's a good amount of money, but yeah, in New York, yeah, what is this? $30 an hour in New York City is not crazy money. Was it in New York City? Well, what's the average, let's just look it up. Average income in NYC. Okay, so median income, average salary in New York City, median household income, let's see if I can find it, Staten Island. It's so expensive. Yeah, no, I'm so household is 76,000, individual is 36. So, well, let's go ahead and do the math, right? And so if you look at this and you have 30 times 40, and that's per week, right? And then you times this by, let's say 51. That's still not that much money. You're using median, not average? Yeah, but median is a better indicator because average factors in people like Donald Trump where median does not. So median is actually a better indicator because of wealth disparity. So yeah, there we go. Plus tax, yeah. So that's pretty fucking bad. So Amazon workers officially began nationwide strike. Oh, here we go.
People are excited for this strike. We've been waiting for this day. We've been prepping for this day. This is the day that they get to see how strong we are.
This is our chance to truly make history.
Teamsters have voted to authorize a strike at 7 Amazon facilities. Those include warehouses in Staten Island and Queens.
Better not be Austin.
Suburb of Skokie and 4 in Southern California.
Oh, okay, good.
Amazon
We're fine.
doesn't want us to realize the power that we have as Amazon workers.
I don't think that they have a lot of power in the long term, and I think that Amazon knows that. Amazon just has to wait them out until they can automate the systems and then get rid of these people. A lot of this is like unskilled, uneducated labor. Yeah, easily replaced, exactly.
wouldn't be able
And I think
to
also,
run
like,
without us.
here's another issue is that when people can't get their packages for Christmas, it will turn them against the unions. And I think the media does a really good job at turning people against unions. Wage slaves are rising up. Wage slaves are rising up? No, they're not.
Scared because they know that with the power of the union, they're gonna have to dish out what they owe.
Amazon needs to understand that there's real people behind these vans. There's real people in these warehouses, and they need to treat
Yeah, that's the problem. They're trying to fix that as soon as possible.
us with the dignity that we deserve.
These right here, we're fighting for our life.
We're fighting for our family.
We are Amazon Teamsters.
We deliver the packages.
We make Amazon's profits.
We're demanding our fair share.
We demand fair pay and safe jobs.
Yep. I don't see this happening. Yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe they'll pay them a little bit more, but that's it. Amazon's in the process of automation. My company is one of many that's making those assembly lines. With Amazon workers, I get it, but when it's doctors or teachers that already get a huge wage, I don't. Yeah, I mean, teachers don't really get paid a lot of money. But let's see if there's any more news about this, and I'll look at it. Pray for Bezos. Yeah, he might lose 1% of his stock value from this. Amazon strike. Where is it? See if there's any more information about it. Oh yeah, after arresting an Amazon driver who tried to stop his van to show support striking in NYC, police are now linking arms to protect the profits of Amazon and Jeff Bezos. No picture better illustrates the police's role to protect and serve capital, not the people. I'm gonna be honest, I completely agree with the police here. I think the police are totally in the right and the strikers are totally in the wrong. You don't get to obscure and, like, you know, prevent people's free movement. Like, in a free country, you can move and travel in a way that you want, unimpeded. And just because you think that you have a strike or for whatever reason, you don't get to stop people from freely traveling the country. That's just it. It's not even a question, because the opposite is basically kidnapping, right? I mean, yeah, you can't hold people hostage. It's not how it works. And I think if people do that, like, obviously it's on Twitter, right? So, like, this type of comment is, like, very popular, but the reality is that you can't live in a world where people do that. And sensitive take, these people but are incapable of realizing their jobs will end one way or another. They're only delaying the inevitable. Oh yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, absolutely. And nope, you block the scab to cross the picket line. Well, if you do that, but, like, what you're saying is that being a scab transcends the constitutional rights that you're owed and the law. Being in a union does not allow you to overrule the Constitution.
That makes you predictable.
That's not the way the world works. That's not the way the government works. That's not the way the country works. Listen, I understand that you think that you have a good cause and all of this matters. No. You're not above the law. Amazon tried to dampen the resolve of its striking workers, but it's denser than it was yesterday. There's a lot of them. Look at them. Damn. Wrong side of this one, my dude. Well, wait a minute. What did I say that wasn't true? Wrong side of this. How am I on the wrong side of this? Yeah, I'm confused, because when I look at it, I see people that are basically like, you're preventing a person from traveling. Yeah, being pro-worker is important. Which worker? The worker who wants to work or the worker who doesn't want to work? Because you've got to choose one or the other. So you think that because you have this viewpoint that you get to supersede the Constitution and like people's free rights. People have freedom of assembly. That's part of the First Amendment. You think that the ones who want a higher salary, so you think that wanting a higher salary allows you to transcend the Constitution. Is that correct? Yeah, I want you to explain it. Just say it. No, okay, here we go. Now we've got to wait. We've got to see what he's going to say. I'm sure it's going to be good. I don't know anything about the Constitution. I know you don't. Okay, so anyway, let's see. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with this, but I do think that if people aren't getting their packages on time for Christmas, that people will care a lot less about these workers. I also think that in general, the public doesn't have a lot of respect for people that work in these jobs because they're unskilled labor jobs. So I don't think that they're probably going to get a lot of public support either outside of like Twitter. And I don't really see this going anywhere, especially considering that Amazon is probably working towards automation already. So yeah, it's a sad fact. No, this is just what I think is going to happen, right? I mean, obviously, I think Amazon should pay them a rightful wage, and these people have a good point in a lot of cases. But I'm saying that it's just probably not going to happen. That's what my opinion is.
Well, look, I don't know about you, but for me, I absolutely love a fresh helping of slop, and that's why today's news is absolutely fantastic. The good news is that our dear friends at Activision, are coming under fire for allegedly leaning into generative AI to produce their endless torrent of microtransactions. Which is obviously where we're all headed, but it actually turns out it's not just that. Actors are allegedly cutting ties with the company for similar reasons, and that even includes some fairly big names. We haven't found out because of an announcement, we found out because players took a look at the credits and then players used their ears. Of course, live service games are exclusively about making as much money as you can from as little investment as you can get away with. Just look at how any new season of a live service is marketed. The focus is always, well, it's always on the microtransactions, the new store events, the new collaboration, the new theme, not exactly the gameplay or the content. Taking a look at you, Overwatch 2. But with that in mind, we already see extensive outsourcing being used to make these cosmetics. In fact, we recently saw the absolute money printer known as Riot Games restructure their art team seemingly in the direction of substantially more outsourcing of their skins and that kind of thing. So that's just how the industry works, and if that is how they work and how they've shown they work, how do you think AI is going to be approached? I mean, what's easier, spinning up some compute on a model that is fine-tuned to your own data, or hiring an entire company of fallible humans? Well, today we're going to find out, backed by our sponsor. Where I just learned a pretty spicy story. The Google are suing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is all on Ground News, and this story just shows you how powerful their site is, and I'll walk you through it. So here's the story on Ground, and what we see is that Ground captures the story, who broke it, when, who's actually citing who, and biased distribution is rated by 3 independent agencies, which is powerful because here 65% are center, 35% are left. There are no right-leaning sources, and that means that this appeared in Ground's blind spot area, which is designed to surface you news that you very much likely would have missed based on your reading habits. And that is real powerful. And where it's really fun and also powerful is looking at the headlines for comparisons. So The Verge, which is a left-leaning rated outlet, ran with Google sues to stop the US from monitoring it like a bank. Over in TechCrunch, though, which is center-rated, well, they ran with Google pushes back against federal supervision of its payment arm. The difference is pretty damn obvious. One is more plain, the other one is a bit more emotive. Now, I'm not telling you that, like, one is right, one is wrong, or better than the other. I don't trust Google whatsoever. But what's powerful here, and what Ground does, is it means we see all the different headlines, all the different takes, and that means we get a balanced perspective, not just an echo chamber based on whatever headline happened to be shared in your direction. And what I've just went through is one story. On Ground's homepage, interest pages like for gaming or tech, and the blind spot feed, they take the totality of the news, they make it digestible, balanced, and in context. Now, personally, I use their Vantage plan, and right now, if you go to ground.news/Bellular, you'll get 50% off unlimited access with the Vantage plan, and that's basically right. That's the best deal of the year for my subscribers and only for a limited time. So check it out down below. And to make matters even worse with this video, Activision are out here shattering our childhoods because here we see Santa Claus as a zombie with 6 fingers, which is pretty disappointing. Actually, most image models these days, Activision are out here shattering our childhoods. Because here we see Santa Claus as a zombie with 6 fingers, which is pretty disappointing. Actually, most image models these days are well beyond making such simple mistakes as getting the wrong number of digits. If you look closely, you'll see the texture work is also deeply suspicious. I mean, AI art often looks okay until you examine the details. So take a look, right, at these two wrap gifts. They make no sense spatially, and you actually see the textures sort of morph into each other at the middle. And that means that, like, this is ridiculous, and people are rightly unhappy when they see this in the game that they paid for, because this is Activision not even being bothered to have actual developers make art for an in-game reward. And yes, it is that. This isn't just some random loading screen. This is an unlockable reward. And this sort of thing is actually present across Season 1 of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. But today's story is not just that. Actors are also dropping out following a bombshell report that confirms that it's not just that some rogue developers are cutting corners at the company and, you know, using the generative AI and the down low so that they can take the day off early. Oh no, this is new company policy. And if Activision, one of the largest, most successful players in our whole industry, gets away with it, well, you can be damn sure that others will follow. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is a game made by 9 different studios, and it was actually one of the largest releases in the series' history. And to be honest with you, I think it actually deserves that. So here's where I stand. I loved Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It had my favorite character, Russell Adler, on a Star-Spangled Banner motorbike. I mean, come on, try not to get overexcited about that. But my point is, the campaign was a total blast. It was actually really well designed, it was great at a narrative level, gameplay feel was great, and I think the multiplayer is slick as hell and so much fun. There's only one reason why I'm not playing it right now, and it's my PC went kaput. But despite that success, within only a few weeks, the accusations would begin to flow. So the Christmas event featuring, you know, loading screens that feel off. One example, of course, is our 6-fingered zombie Santa, and there are in fact others. Just take a look at this image. It's from the zombies mode. Those are gumballs, which sort of feature in the gameplay. But take a look at the hand, the gloved hand that is holding said gumballs. You will in fact see 6 fingers, plus where, you know, the musculature says there's also a thumb. So what you're actually seeing there is a hand with 7 digits. How did a hand with 7 digits actually manage to ship in one of the largest, most financially successful games in the history of our entire industry that, in addition to that, is also one of the most well-staffed and resourced games in history? And again, these loading screens are not there by default. They are an in-game reward, something that they expect you to invest time and energy into earning, and that shows a contempt and a disregard for customers. But of course it gets worse. We've got to talk about the actors. Activision is currently one of the studios that is being struck by the Screen Actors Guild. This is as a result of them not budging on better compensation and also protections against the use of generative AI. And the point with that's pretty damn simple. If you are a voiceover artist, your vocal performance is your livelihood, right? And with modern technology, it can be cloned. Now, I wanted to see how this kind of thing was going maybe 6 months ago, so a while back I threw a whole bunch of raw recordings into 11 Labs to see what sort of AI horror show version of my own voice would come out. And here's what that sounds like. Hey, it's me! I'm the real Michael! The guy you're listening to is an imposter. He's trapped me here. Please let me out. Skibidi. Yeah, that's a horror show, and it's obviously fake, but of course it seems fake, right? Of course it feels wrong to your ear. I dumped a whole bunch of raw recordings in, right? And they were full of mistakes, full of dead air, not actually a good job. But the top-of-the-line solutions, right, that are available, generally speaking, only to enterprise customers, those are vastly, vastly ahead. And we've even seen AI voice stuff be used in other big games. One great example of that is the Finals. Now, if the Screen Actors Guild was, striking Activision, why were any of these actors in Blop 6? Were they actually crossing the picket line? Well, the answer there is likely no. A loophole in the strike meant that the games currently in production were beholden to the old contract, so work would have continued there. But that doesn't mean that staff were forced to work. And this is where we get to what has made players concerned. So people noticed that Sam sounded different in the new Zombies mode. Vio remains present in the 2 launch maps, and the working theory is that she has not actually been recast, but rather is being mimicked, because people have noticed a change, but they actually cannot find a replacement actor for that character in the game credits. And now, allegedly, and this is a quote, allegedly, quote, almost all of the actors in zombies have pulled out, and that apparently includes some really big names. As an example, North. And suffice to say, per the leakers and the rumor mill, this would be a rather apparent thing in future updates to the mode, and the departures were basically because the developer refused to grant protections against people's voices being duplicated using generative AI. And if you're an actor, well, if your voice is duplicated by the company you just worked for, congratulations, you have just worked yourself out of a role. That would basically make the actors vestigial, and, well, if you're an actor, that sucks, but the reason why it matters to you is also pretty damn clear. Your products are getting worse. We should expect better than, you know, six-fingered Santa or the seven-digit hand that's holding the gumballs and the other AI slop that we see. We should expect better, and what matters is this is Activision policy, and they're not even trying to hide it. Here's something fun from Treyarch's active job listings. This is for a principal character concept artist, and you can see it features multiple different requirements for the prospective candidate to be familiar with off-the-shelf generative AI tools, of course, for the creation of assets in their games. And, well, there has to be evidence of their usage in the portfolio. Yeah, just take a read, right? What's concerning to me is this is not like recent cases with, say, Wizards of the Coast, with Wacom, and with Hearthstone's whole debacle where there was pixel art versions of cards that came out. People found that there was Gen AI being used, and nobody was really happy about it, because in a lot of those cases, it was actually rogue artists or agencies, people at agencies, using AI without approval. Basically, hey, I'm going to let the robot do my job, and I'm just going to ship that work, and hopefully nobody will notice. Here, though, we see it as official Treyarch and Activision policy, and this stems from the absolutely fantastic reporting of Wired on this story that came out last July. Of course, it came out in July, but now we're actually seeing the impact in shit in-game rewards. So, they spoke to several staff at the company, and they identified a development process that was facing a top-down mandate of generative AI adoption. Staff basically could not speak out without risking their jobs. Suffice to say, artists are not a big fan of this sort of thing. And that explains why, of course, we, the players, are only wise to this now that we're seeing obvious slop being shipped in the actual game. Now, per the report, prior to spring 2023, Activision CTO Michael Vance had already approved using Midjourney and Stable Diffusion for making concept art, and this actually followed approving GPT 3.5 usage and the explicit approval of these tools to be used in Activision's concept art, marketing, and user surveys. Now, that stuff is obviously not like in-game content that's being sold to you, but I mean, it is AI slop reaching end users. And even when people say, listen, bro, we're just using the AI art for, you know, some quick concept art, there's a very tiny example of that as a visual aid. Maybe somebody who doesn't really understand like a lot of the technical nuances, maybe doesn't have the artistic terminology. Perhaps they can produce an image that if they show to an artist, the artist will be able to understand, oh, okay, you're inspired by this, that. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. This is not that. This is replacing concept art done at companies. That concept art is a vital part of the creative process, and if that just gets thrown into a big machine that basically is going to be rehashing its training data, it's not really good for the future activity, is it? Now, according to Wired's source, the promise was given to artists, well, you know what? I'll just read the quote. Activision assured its artists that generative AI would only be used for internal concepts, not final game assets, and importantly, that AI would not be used to replace them. What do you guys think the chances are of them going back in that word? Because obviously things have changed since then, but actually not much since then. You see, by the end of 2023, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was selling a cosmetic bundle that Wired identified as being built using generative AI tools. Now, it's unlikely that Gen AI was just sitting there spitting out shippable works, like in a final state, but basic concept art by this point was totally on the cards, such as maybe prompting, Japanese yokai mask, and military operator. In fact, I entered just that prompt and I got this from ChatGPT. I asked it to be a little bit more photoreal, and compared to what Wired identified being shipped in COD, I mean, if I had have just said that, like, hey, the background should have fire in it, the mask should be red, it probably would start to look just like the Demon Face loading screen reward. And there's another fun aspect to this brought up by Stephanie Sterling, and it's pretty simple. It's a really strong point. So, take a look at this, right? The yokai cosmetics. If those had simply, like, copied the original yokai art that was the inspiration, it would have very clearly been plagiarism. but if you run it through a genericification slot filter, which is what a lot of the image generation is, what you're almost doing is laundering credit. And I think most importantly, you're doing that in a way that is more legally grey and distinct, such that if you are an executive at Activision, well, there's more than enough legal and ethical wiggle room for you to feel okay demanding the use of those tools. So if you're, say, a well-known artist like Simon Stalenhag, I think he was a big fan whenever Generation Zero just said, you know what, we'll do a Stalenhag for the entire visuals of our game. Never mentioned the guy. It's only gonna get worse with the AI, isn't it? So that idea of almost like credit laundering, plagiarism laundering, that is really compelling and a little bit disconcerting. One of the things in our industry that would lead to work being more unique is quite simply that you would have references and inspirations, but if you just straight copied them, you'd feel like a massive dickhead. And that would actually create an incentive to make things that are new, different, transformative. And of course, if you're a concept artist, this is not a good time. We literally see them using this for internal concept art. We're right now at nearly 15,000 recorded layoffs in games this year. And that's only the recorded ones, not the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of dead indie devs that, nobody will ever hear about. It's bad. And here's what Wired's source said following the Activision layoff of early 2024. Quote, a lot of 2D artists were laid off, Noah says. The department was slashed. Remaining concept artists, he claims, were forced to use AI to aid in their work. These employees, who, according to Noah, have basically been made to sign up for AI trainings, and the use is being promoted throughout the organization. This is policy, that's the point. And what's worse is, this isn't a scrappy indie who is just trying to hit above their weight and is going to use any tool that they can find. These are the biggest players in the game, making extremely expensive, premium games that are absolutely stuffed to the brim with asks for your money. And this is how they are treating you and the people on their teams. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. At the time, that yokai cosmetic just completely slipped under the radar because it was pretty much free of obvious flaws. It was clearly fixed up in post. But Six Finger Santa is not that. The public are now noticing, and that means that either standards have slipped or the art teams, even, augmented, even the cyborgs that they've now been forced to become, that they're working to impossible deadlines and they cannot keep up the quality bar even if they use all the tools that they've got. But it's not just that. This is also a de facto test. I say that because I'm not making the factual claim that I think Activision knowingly shipped this so that they could test. My point is, well, Activision don't have a problem with a negative YouTube video. They don't have a problem with an article in Wired, because the actual audience of their games is in the tens of millions. Far more people than even watch gaming YouTube videos, right? Like, even by watching this video, you're an enthusiast gamer. Congratulations. By making it, I suppose I am as well. They only care about the bottom line, and in the case of Activision, well, their new owners, Microsoft, have had their recent growth be because they are very, what is called in the investment world, bullish on artificial intelligence. The only thing that will change their mind is reduced audience spend, less money. And more likely than not, the Six-Fingered Santa will actually have proved them right. I don't think this is going to lead to people suddenly saying, no, we're no longer going to buy cosmetics in Call of Duty. There just doesn't seem to be any form of feasible punishment that would actually land here, which is unlike some other situations. Take a look at what Coca-Cola have recently found themselves in. They basically boasted that they were using AI to replace their iconic Christmas advertisements. Now, I know it's a bit weird to call a Christmas ad for a big brand an iconic thing, but why do you think Santa Claus has his current color scheme? There's a lot of coke involved in that. Those advertisements absolutely resonated with people, and that's why, because yes, these adverts are like literally kind of beloved, that's why the backlash to Coca-Cola doing that was so goddamn strong. But here Activision are heavily using Gen AI for non-consumer facing production art, right? And now what they're doing is they're microdosing the generative AI into finished work. And it just seems that they're slowly increasing the dose. This is a slippery slope, or maybe you could call it a bit of a boiling pot. So much so that actors are allegedly turning down their paychecks in protest of this company, where it very much seems these actors believe that they're just going to be AI mimicked and treated badly. Now, as a final exercise, I would like you to consider where we were in 2014, before generative AI, before the complete assault of microtransactions. I mean, personally, I take it back to 2006, where I was there for the horse armor, I was there for the beginning, but no, think about 2014. Then think about 2022, just before the AI stuff was really about to explode and when image gen just couldn't be used for concept art. And then think about now. Think about how quickly the advancement has been there, and if you're only thinking about Midjourney and DALL-E and the ones that we've seen in the West, you should take a look at what Tencent are doing. The models coming from China are genuinely impressive from just like a computer science standpoint. They are going to wreak havoc. Do you think this will get better directionally or worse by the year 2034, in a decade? You see, a lot of AI doomsayers will tell you that it's about to hit a brick wall. And yes,
Nope.
Sam Altman, of course, is very, biased whenever he says there is no wall. Because, OpenAI, he's got every incentive to not have there be a wall. People say that purely scaling up compute won't work. And I actually think that's kind of likely, yeah. But I take a look at the new generation of ChatGPT. I take a look at the new Claude 3.5 Sonnet that does actually use some more chain of thought reasoning and how much better its results are. I'm reminded of Moore's Law. So for a long time, we got yearly claims that Moore's Law, which, by the way, would be the rough doubling of compute every 18 months, and this held from, just off the top of my head, like the 70s, like it held for a stupidly long time. Yet there were yearly cries of, Moore's Law is about to stop. The compute is going to slow down. But guess what happened? It sort of didn't. We got multi-core chips, different instruction sets, new manufacturing techniques and breakthroughs. Do you remember when GPUs were dominating Bitcoin mining only for ASICs, which basically are just purpose-made pieces of hardware? And basically the ASICs came and they would absolutely wallop GPUs when it came to just all of the number crunching involved in crypto mining. That's just the idea of fixed function hardware. Well, right now, multiple early stage companies are working on similar, right, like bespoke on the actual hardware AI processing that is, not a GPU. It could be the next generation of this. They could make the compute absolutely in that specific domain skyrocket. And that means that we should not think this will be fine, it's just a trend. Oh no, and I hate to be a doomer at this time of year, but it's absolutely not going to go better. All of these companies have shown that rather than increase the size of their internal art team and treat people better, they would rather just outsource as much as they can to keep cranking out the skins. Those very same companies with the very same incentives will obviously replace people worth $100 grand a year with some compute time. I mean, come on. And that means this. The best that me and you can do is guard ourselves. And we need to make sure that we are supporting teams of artists rather than the executives that seek to replace them. Good luck, and at least you can know that me and my team will be doing all that we can to keep you in the loop on this story, because it's one of those ones that I think is generationally important to our industry and is a true point of danger, and I suppose an inflection point in how games are made. That's it for this video. You know what? There's a lot more news, so take a look at this one next.
I'm very positive about the game. Like, as I said before, I've been playing PoE like ever since 2012, and I do think that this version, this version of PoE is probably one of my favorite versions of the game. Like, for example, like if I just look at my characters, I'm looking forward to playing multiple characters already. Like, I have my level 62, I have my level 17, I have my level 34, and I have my level 13, right? I haven't really played this character a whole lot. So, like, I'm excited to just play the game more. The game feels really good to play. Yeah, I've been trying to level my character a little bit myself and, like, just kind of get it farther. Make a build that works like cheating. It does. Like, that's the goal. See, like, the goal in PoE should be to play the game as if you're cheating. Like, I've been having a lot of hard time, like, getting any upgrades for my minion build at all. Like, it's been really bad. Have you seen the auto attack warrior build? Shit looks crazy. No, I haven't, but I know auto attack does a lot of damage. Yeah, I'll show you where I'm at right now, because I'm trying to like get this character in the maps. The reason why I want to get this character in the maps is so I can get currency to buy gear to make my warrior good. Because like my goal is to... Damn. Game today? Oh, probably not in game today. I'm just fucking around right now. Like, let's see. Did I get anything good? I haven't gotten a single good item. Like, I'm using all of the same gear that I was using the day before, and I'm like 10 levels higher. How much damage do your minions do? I'll show you. What's this? Oh my god. I don't want to look at this stuff anymore. It's gonna make me upset. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Visit the I don't want to look at this stuff anymore. It's gonna make me upset. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Visit the traders. I do every level. I visit traders. Every single level. It just doesn't make a difference. Go over to here. I'm only getting witch gear when I play on mercenary, then roll a witch. I think that it's good for you to get gear from other classes. So like, oh yeah, I got more spirit. I have 283 spirit now. And so now if I fight something, I'll show you. Get ready. It's just that I take so much damage. That's the problem. Let me try and find a... It's just that I take so much damage. That's the problem. Let me try and find a rare. They just kill everything, man. Oh, Jim. Like, I'm just popping the fuck off now. This looks fun. Don't forget to hit E. What's E? Oh. Yeah, I can even do that too to make them do even more damage. Like, I can pretty much stun lock bosses with how much damage I can do. Minions are basically chat being led by the Rat King. You're actually kind of right. Playing minions is a lot like being a streamer. It's like my WoW raids. And like my resistances, I don't even have resistances.
Hey guys, we just got back from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's right, the one with Shadow, played by Keanu Reeves. Alec Baldwin.
The Shadow. It's a great movie.
Okay, Joe. Directed by Jeff Fowler. Story by Pat Casey and Josh Miller. And so I'm just going to get right down to the brass tacks. And should you go out and see Sonic 3, is it a good time? Or is this a sequel that drops off hard? You know, sequelitis can be a thing, and you can get diminishing returns. Jim Carrey was quoted as saying, "I'm not returning unless you write it in gold ink and it's a really good story," or something like that. Well, guess what? He's back. Not only is he back, but you get a double helping of Jim Carrey. And so I'll tell you, yes, it is a fun film. It's a funny film. Now, not all the jokes land. In fact, a few of them miss. But I had a lot of fun because of the double helping of Jim Carrey and the focus on our, animals, basically, all of our characters from Sonic, and a lessening of the human story. Yeah. So less side stories like the stupid wedding or the stupid, kind of fish out of water stuff. This is straight into the action. This is Team Sonic in action. What does each of these characters bring to the team? It's friendship, it's mystery with Shadow. Who is Shadow? Why? If you're not familiar with Shadow, what's going on here? Is he just Sonic and better in every way? And, what's his backstory? This film kind of deals with it all. And then, just like they've done at the end of every single Sonic, they do a tease here, and man, the theater erupted, and I was so confused. I mean, not confused, I know these characters, that are revealed at the end, and I'm like, okay, so I guess I was on the outside looking in there. I think, I don't want to spoil any more now. We'll talk about it in spoilers.
And it's guaranteed because it got greenlit today. Sonic 4.
Are you serious?
Sonic 4 is greenlit today.
Okay, well, it must be doing good in pre-sales and everything.
100 million estimate, I think.
Oh, wow. The budget is 122 million. And, the previous films have been a lot of fun. They've made money, and I can see them spending that. I don't feel like that's excessive or anything. But I was really happy that they got Jim Carrey. Keanu Reeves does an all-right job as Shadow. In fact, now he's Shadow to me. Like, I can't separate Keanu from Shadow. So hopefully they're able to keep paying Keanu whatever he wants to get the Shadow. He may not be in the film as much as I wanted. He does get his moments. But I guess I expected a little bit more, and we'll have to see what happens from here. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun. They break the fourth wall. It seems like everybody is having fun at this point. Everybody knows what kind of film this is. This is a celebration of the video games. It is just inside jokes, outside jokes, really cringy jokes all over the place. And I think, we saw it at a kids screening, so there were plenty of kids. They were having a great time. By the way, the Superman trailer played, and a bunch of kids were like, Superman! I was like, yes! And then when that dog came on screen, Crypto, like some of the, I'm going to see that. I'm like, I'm feeling good about Superman. Sorry, this is about Superman.
Really?
So this is about, our characters in Sonic. And Knuckles returns. Tails returns. And I was worried, okay, the cast is getting bigger. Are they going to get their moments? Is it going to be too big? And honestly, everybody gets their moments. Maybe not in the ways that you expect, but Knuckles gets his, Tails gets his own moment, and they continue this relationship between Robotnik and the guy that gets his coffee. I forget his name. Stone. And I think that has some heart to it. And so the films have the heart, they have the passion, they understand their audience, and yeah, it was a really good, it was a good time. And with getting all the parts that I hate out of the way, getting straight into the action and focusing on the cast of Sonic characters was its greatest strength. What did you guys think of Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
Yeah, definitely go out and see this. I really like this one the best, the one so far. 3 is my favorite. I had a good time with this one. I love the team. Knuckles was by far the best. He has his perfect comedic timing.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, it's a good message. It's a great watch. It's basically everything what I wanted from the other films. I just want to see the team, not the people and stuff like that. Everyone did a great job with the voice acting. Ben and Idris, and who's Tails actually?
I'm not sure who Tails is.
But yeah, all great, and double dose of Jim Carrey, having fun. I laughed a lot of the times with this stupid comedy. He still got it.
Yeah.
It's
Colleen is Tails, is it? Colleen Old.
Well, she did a great job as well. Shadow, amazing. Yeah, go check this out. Loved it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely
covered a lot of it.
I think it's the best Sonic movie. I really like Sonic 1. Sonic 2, I think, dropped off pretty hard, and I think this one's a pretty hard course correction from Sonic 2 because they went, like you mentioned, there was no garbage new characters that we go on a side. It's like I don't care about these new characters. No. Where is the point? And we got completely away from that. Now we get some cameos from them. There's a particular cameo that I kind of want to take 7 points away from the movie for.
Yes, I didn't like that either.
But I still think this is the best of the 3 Sonic movies. There is. I think they found the formula, and I think the studio knows they found the formula. They've already greenlit the next one before they had any of these predictions, and I think they know what they've got. So this is just a fun kids movie, and finally we're getting these, like, because sometimes, and people get mad at me, but sometimes we see these kid movies. I know that they're kids movies. I still find them funny, but this one also had heart to it. It wasn't just member berries. It wasn't just, oh, hey, look, Yoshi's there. Is that Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong? Don't you love that?
This is way better than Mario.
Way better, and it's like it has the humor.
So every time somebody gives a shit over, oh, you guys have Mario, it's like,
kids movie.
What about the Sonic films? Have you seen any of our Sonic reviews? That's where we're positive.
Yeah, so I think that this is the one where, like, this kind of fits the formula where me as a curmudgeon had a good time. The kids in the theater had a great time. Everyone is having fun with it. There's a good message. There's good heart. And I think this is how you do it.
Yep.
That's it. No more needs to be said.
Go check it out.
Jim Carrey. I mean, you know, I'm looking to see how critics are receiving it. It looks like it's getting 87, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I estimate the audience score is going to be hard
or higher for sure.
Just a very few people that don't like it.
6 out of 10.
IndieWire sharply critical of the film, finding the script asinine.
I don't agree with that one, but it's fine.
Our engagement's down. I have to say something.
Yeah. Carrie's a gloriously deranged one-man and 2-character musical. They utter sincerity, so they get it. Yeah, it's good stuff, and I really liked it. So I think, like I said, everybody gets their moment. You get the backstory to Shadow. You get the final battle. The stakes are high. You even get some fun interplay with Robotnik, which, you know, is I can't say a whole lot, but just know that there's some fun play there. Yeah. And, yeah, great. Let's just go to final verdicts then.
No, I'm going to go with an 8.
No, just to let everybody know, my previous scores on Sonic was an 8 out of 10 for the first one and an 8 out of 10 for the second one.
I think mine were like a point or 2 lower than yours, but I think this is an 8 right here. This is like my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's got everything going for me. The chemistry between the team is great. It's really hitting all cylinders. I love Jim Carrey.
Is this not an oddity, Joe, that the sequels are going up? Isn't that very rare?
It's rare.
Like Terminator, Terminator 2, Aliens. But then every other sequel franchise, there's not a lot I can think of that kind of go upward. This one has been going upward.
Yeah, this one has. I hate one of the fucking cameos. Pissed me off.
You get an F.
I do like.
What is this cameo?
We'll talk about it later. I do like the Dr. Robotnik fight at the end. I laughed at that. It was pretty cool. But I don't know what it is with the dancing. Like, it's not funny. Can we?
I like the dancing. See, Joe, I liked it.
I'm not knocking points away, but I'm just like.
It doesn't make sense. Their heads should have gotten cut off. We'll talk about it.
There's a field, Joe. He said there's a field.
Yeah, but there's like they're doing that like in every Sonic thing. I was like, it doesn't have to, but
I liked it.
It's still a great film. I like this one the best. 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. I think this is the strongest of the 3. Everything's working here. They've got their formula. A lot of funny stuff. Lots of funny bits, and not just normal Jim Carrey being wacky and zany. Like, there were some genuinely like really clever things that they threw in here. So if you're gonna see a movie this weekend, I hear really bad things about some of the other ones, and we've seen some of the poopy ones. So I'm not even talking about that one.
I was gonna say, like, it's funny that Shadow is a better villain than fucking Kraven and Venom and all those.
Yeah. Even though he's got probably fewer lines and everything.
Way cooler.
And this film has more passion, heart, and creativity in it than another film that we saw the same day that we saw War of the Rohirrim. Which you'd think, oh man, look, I'm going back to the token. It's
That's
like,
the member berry one too.
This one it seems natural, it seems genuine, it's funny, it's fun for the whole family. You can take the kids, you can take adults. Hell, I mean, it's pretty much our demographic. We grew up with Sonic. You know, I played the shit out of Sonic 2 with my stepbrother and stepsister. grew up with it. Sonic and Knuckles. I think I kind of dropped off for Sonic 4. I don't think that I was still playing it at that point. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You need to go and check it out in theaters. Perfect holiday movie. Yeah, there's any other holiday movies? I guess there's like Mufasa coming, and
people are Nosferatu on Christmas
I want to
Day.
see that one.
If you don't want to scare your children, you got children, you're gonna go to Sonic 3. What you say?
Oh, Mufasa is not doing well.
Oh well, we'll see tomorrow.
The
all right?
live actions are not.
Okay, so that is. Oh, I didn't give it. I would give it. Well, I actually agree with you, Joe. I think it's better than the others. I think I was very kind to Sonic 2.
You were very kind.
I was super happy, just the feeling of it, and I like this one even more. So I'm between an 8 and a 9, and I think as we talk about it in spoilers, I'll be able to analyze it more. But I could give it an 8 out of 10 and still say it's my favorite of all three. So I'm going to do an 8 out of 10. Stay tuned. Come with us into spoilers because I can't really think of too many things that are weighing it down. I'd say I expected more of the jokes to hit, but maybe it's just not my kind of comedy. But when they hit, they're funny as hell, and I really appreciated that. And I just had so much fun watching Jim Carrey. And I feel like I'm on repeat from every single time I watched Sonic. So I'm worried if they do a future one and Jim's like, all right, now I'm done. Like, I can't do any more. Will it still work without Jim Carrey? And will it still have the...
Just find another cool villain, but...
Or just cast the dudes that replaced him in Dumb and Dumber, and then we can just... Dumb and Dumber, or what was the one that...
Don't speak of such
terrible...
No? Son of the Mask?
Nightmares. Maybe Robotnik can be eventually, if Jim doesn't want to do them all the time, maybe he can be replaced by a huge cast. There's over 30 characters in Sonic, so I'm sure they could find something. But anyway, so that's what it's going to be. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 right now with a possible 9.
Across the board, huh?
Yeah,
very lucky.
It's very consistent. For me, this film franchise has been consistently good and a great time and knows what it wants to be. And I can tell, like, I saw this interview question with the directors and things, and these guys get it. It's like, lastly, the goodwill you earned from the Sonic design change in the first film, do you still think that's a big reason why you're now talking about your third Sonic film? And he goes, I get asked about this in every interview, so I have to say yes. I just love to talk about that great moment, even if it was very tough for me at the time. It created this relationship with our fans and the opportunity for them to feel heard and acknowledged. So it will always be a part of our story, no matter how many of these films we make. It will always come back to that engagement and that very honest transaction between our team and our fan base. And if I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. So it's like, man, this guy gets it, and he takes ideas from the fans, and he wants to make them happy while making a good story. So I think this franchise is in good hands. So that's going to be it. Let's go into these.
Sweet Home Chat GPT. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start off by making a pretty hot take here. Inbreeding is bad, okay? You probably shouldn't be having relationships with your brother or sister, or your cousins, or anybody that where you're too genetically close. Now you might be like, whoa, why are we talking about inbreeding? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to look at something that was kind of like perplexing my mind for the last, I want to say 2-3 years, which is the topic of AI inbreeding. Now, ever since we've had artificial intelligence generate us text, images, movies, videos, songs, there's been a genuine question as if what happens when AI starts training on itself? So, for instance, a lot of big companies, for those of you who haven't been noticing, are effectively purchasing large amounts of content to train off of. You might have remembered literally months ago, Google bought Reddit content, basically having license to look through Reddit posts and basically train their artificial intelligence off of it. Apple signed a deal for Shutterstock images, which now I think the closest we're getting to is something known as Apple Intelligence, which again generates you whatever slop you want on your phone, at least from my understanding, on device. But of course, beyond all of it, the amount of information that is being consumed and created on a daily basis by actual human beings is slowly being outpaced by actual artificial intelligence. And while there's a lot of people in this business, like Mark Zuckerberg, who will say like AIs can actually apparently train themselves, the reality of it is this is a pretty disputed topic. So one of my favorite things to do is basically go to one artificial intelligence. In this case, I'm bringing up ChatGPT, and then another artificial intelligence. This is Grok, two competing AIs. Now, again, when it comes to these AIs, they train on a metric fuck ton of image data that they then use to basically help the artificial intelligence create, generated images. So when you ask it, make me an image of George Washington, you can see that it got me an image of what appears to be old Georgie boy. Now, I don't know if Georgie's cheeks were this goddamn rosy, but if there's one thing about artificial intelligence images is that usually the faces and a lot of the features look like there's a crazy amount of smoothing applied to it. But of course, then at this point, you take this image, you go to Grok, and you ask Grok, hey, can you describe this image? And basically what you do is you take the actual image description and you throw it back and forth until the AI goes into what we call a recursive loop, okay? It just feeds back into itself. And it creates some really interesting results. For instance, this one over here, where somebody had looped ChatGPT and DALL-E, and basically after 20 rounds, they turned the Mona Lisa generated from this down the road into something that looked like the Mona Lisa. Then, of course, it turns into this. Then it adds a different style in the background. Mona Lisa is now more heavenly, okay? You can see her just there. You've got an interesting photograph design. Now you've got some more cosmic effects added to it, a little bit more colorful, maybe some astronomical like inspirations. Then of course you've got like universes surrounding old Mona Lisa. Gets way more saturated. She becomes way more godlike until eventually around the 20th actual generation, she starts to have what we like to call
laser
vaporwave
eyes.
eyes. And then she becomes fucking Shodan from System Shock, okay? Yeah, the artificial intelligence, when you keep repeating it and like feeding it back this information, it eventually becomes the god of the universe, okay? That is Mona Lisa, according to an artificial intelligence that has fucked its cousin way too many times. So recently, OpenAI, the leading artificial intelligence company, just like basically announced that they were coming out with O3, and already a few people who have been in this game are already losing their mind. OpenAI's O3 has just been released. I don't think it's actually released for the general person, but in algorithmic competitions, it surpasses most human elites. In the field of mathematics, even in the very advanced areas, it's unparalleled in its strength. It never gets tired and can learn endlessly. So for a lot of people that are programming and getting into mathematics or anything like, really, for people who are wondering maybe AI was going to replace their jobs a little bit too soon, we're getting to a point where artificial intelligence is actually at a point where it's used in a lot of big organizations. But before we get into it, the thing about inbreeding is obviously people are looking at what could possibly be known as the Habsburg AI, which for those of you who don't know where that reference comes from, this is the Habsburg jaw. So remember, inbreeding, contrary to, again, the popular jokes, most inbreeding, from my understanding, usually used to happen amongst the richest people in the world, the most noblest of families that wanted to keep their money in the family. And to get such a massive amount of wealth, so to speak, you had to pay the simple price of limiting your genetic diversity to the point where recessive genes keep coming out and you start getting things like this. Look, having all the money and power in your family is great until little Timmy gets 6 toes and webbed feet, all right? That's when it gets fucked up. But there was a great write-up, actually, July of this year, where, again, a few researchers were actually talking about how AI models go through something known as modal collapse when they constantly get trained on recursive generated data. Now, this information, from what I understand, a lot of experts do end up believing in it, but there is two sides to the story, okay? So I'm going to kind of just cover this and just talk about, again, the pros and cons here. Because I really do think this is important, and especially as a guy that loves video gaming, this directly correlates into the next point of this video. So basically, the abstract of this is Stable Diffusion revolutionized image creation from descriptive text. So it is clear that generative artificial intelligence, such as LLMs, are here to stay, and I agree. I don't think AI is going anywhere with how much money these big tech companies have actually put into it. Here we consider what happens to ChatGPT once LLMs contribute much of the text found online. We find that indiscriminate use of model-generated content in training causes irreversible defects in the resulting model. Now remember, indiscriminate use is the key word here. and I'll get to why in a second, in which tales of the original content distribution disappear. We reference to this effect as model collapse, and it can occur in LLMs as well as variational autoencoders and Gaussian mixture models. So again, the idea of indiscriminate data being passed into the system creates two versions of modal collapse. So you've got two modes, which one of them are the early model collapse, and then the other is the late model collapse. So basically in the early model, it begins losing information about the tails of the distribution. And in late model, the model converges to a distribution that carries little resemblance to the original one. So there's something known as AI hallucinations, where again, you might have noticed how like sometimes AIs give like really shitty responses or sometimes spread misinformation. Remember, contrary to whatever a tech bro will say, none of these things are sentient. If you're looking at these things from a computer programming sense of view or like a computer science perspective, they're very, very impressive chatbots, right? But the thing is, a chatbot is only able to work with the information you provide it, right? One of the earliest chatbots that actually existed on the internet was something known as Microsoft's Tay AI. So Tay was actually an artificial intelligence that people could interact with on Twitter. And if you're looking at some of these screenshots...
And they made it racist.
So Tay started off basically by going hello world, and as soon as the internet started talking to it, it started changing pretty dramatically. Now, at this moment in time, a bunch of people from 4chan and the various, like, you know, wilder parts of the internet started interacting with this bot. And it quickly went from something as wholesome as hello world to, is Ricky Gervais an atheist? No. Ricky Gervais learned totalitarianism from Adolf Hitler, the inventor of atheism, okay? So already, we're getting into some we started normal, now we're getting into some scary shit, okay? And then it starts responding to people I hate, insert N-word here. Or, do you support genocide? Well, according to Tay, it absolutely does. And of course, you can probably picture what race maybe. I mean, it gets pretty wild, okay? This got so bad that Microsoft had to very quickly shut it down because it became a huge PR nightmare. Obviously, when your artificial intelligence starts getting into the fucking wild, racy, nitty-gritty parts. Yeah, but I would say that maybe Tay was a little ahead of its time given how Twitter is nowadays, but yeah, it's a wild day for Microsoft. Now, one of the examples for even text outputs for a model collapse is obviously when they started with this one input. After literally 9 generations, it went from revival architecture such as St. John's Cathedral in London to architecture in addition to being home to some of the world's largest population of black tailed jackrabbits, white-tailed jackrabbits. Yeah, the model is actually collapsing. And the thing about it is the actual reality of this is when you look at a lot of information on the internet, or a lot of AI slop, as some people would say, AI shrimp Jesus will always look this unnerving. And the thing about it is when we went to indiscriminate data, obviously the reality of it is a lot of these artificial intelligences can be trained on what is known as synthetic data, or usually data that has been generated by the AI itself. So the thing about it is obviously as AI becomes more evolved, it's going to have less and less human information because there's just so much more AI generated stuff being made than actual normal human information, right? Like for instance, if somebody is taking a photo like their phone every day, there's a good chance that somebody is also generating 10 AI prompts through Grok, ChatGPT, DALL-E, or whatever service out there and just flooding that out to the internet. And the thing about it is, once you have data sets like that, you really have to become very careful in the data sets you feed back into the artificial intelligence to help it train further generations. If, for instance, you let any artificial intelligence just read whatever slop it wanted, you can turn it into the shittiest AI in a matter of generations, okay? That is literally where the term inbreeding actually comes from. The moment you take out any form of genetic diversity, or you take out, really any form, not even genetic diversity, I don't think that's the best term. The best term is the moment you start putting in recessive information, recessive genetic information for artificial intelligences, meaning that, for instance, in an AI model, if you decided to have a human individual and you decided to show a hand, now there's maybe 10 images that the AI has to train from. Now, in, I would say, maybe 6 of those images, I have 5 fingers. But, the other 4 images, I might have maybe 10 fingers or 12 fingers on one hand. If you're not sitting there and removing those errant images from the training data, then it starts poisoning the well, and eventually the artificial intelligence doesn't really know much better. It's why early on, There was a lot of AIs that made shitty fingers, and now if you start generating AI images, you probably will find that hands and a lot of those original errors make more sense. Now, that's not to say all synthetic data is actually bad. Inbreeding is not necessarily terrible if the quality of the genetics involved are great. Usually with inbreeding, you breed out a lot of the recessive traits, right? Again, that whole hand example was to me telling you, if you remove, the recessive hands, meaning the ones with more than 5 fingers, the, good hands, the dominant genes in this situation, will actually breed a better artificial intelligence that you can use later on. Now, this actual research paper you're seeing over here is one that came out from around 8 years ago. And if these screenshots look a little bit familiar to you, that is Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, on the left, you can see actual screenshots from Grand Theft Auto, but on the right, you can see that same imagery where, from the computer's perspective, it's isolating every single thing. So blue ends up becoming the ground, this green becomes a wall that, again, the computer can collide with, and of course, these dark yellow patterns are obviously humans, alongside any other obstacle. Now, what is this used for, you might be wondering? Well, it's actually used to help create data for full self-driving computers. So like many vehicles out there now that have like assistive driving, like Teslas can drive themselves to an extent, as can other vehicles to an extent, of course, the information with actual dash cams may not be so readily available. Like not everyone's giving up their dash cam for a FSD system to actually use. So for instance, this footage that I have right here is from me driving to New York City. So I'm actually in Hell's Kitchen, and I'm going to try to blur as many license plates as I can. Thank God the state of New York does not have to, I don't think they have license plates in front, but this is footage of me. And again, if you overlay just footage of me playing Grand Theft Auto 4, for instance, you may not even think that this is that different, right? Like when a AI is training off of it, it just needs to verify the same information. So people walking on the streets, crossing the streets, vehicles driving, and thankfully with Grand Theft Auto, there are erratic actual motions where again, cars can veer into or break the rules or not use their turn signals. So it gives information for the data that sometimes isn't a perfect variance of driving. So again, if AI is trained on Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 or any other game with a very similar driving model, and again, if that information, right, is present, then it's probably as good, if not better, than real actual dash cam footage. Using a mixture is probably ideal, but you can generate so much good training data off of one video game that you probably couldn't generate if you spent tons of money and had people driving around cities the entire time. Now, something on YouTube that I noticed a couple days ago for any YouTuber watching is the ability for YouTube to now give us the option for letting third parties use our videos for AI model generation or AI training data. Now, the thing about it is I don't understand if this gives the YouTuber any extra money, but it really shows you where these companies and how desperate things have become. Now, when YouTube gives you the option, from my understanding, they're letting you pick if you want third parties to gain access. From my understanding, Google and YouTube effectively have carte blanche over whatever you upload. And honestly, they probably should, given the fact that this service is provided to me and you for free. So if I'm uploading a video onto my channel, I can imagine Google may use it to help produce AI-generated images. Now, if you're looking at some of these videos real quickly, Google has given obviously like a sizzle reel platter of it, but like it is far better than any other actual AI that I've seen, to the point where it's matching a lot of these popular animations, like Pixar-style animations, pretty well, because I'm sure it had a lot of information to work with. This dog jumping into a pool looks pretty damn real. I could not figure out if this was actual AI. That lady looking into a microscope, could not tell if this is AI immediately right off the top of my head. And I'm sure that some actual editing went into these videos to make them look a little bit better than ever. But the reality is, this is only getting better than what it is. For a lot of channels that do like B-roll footage, like a lot of the faceless YouTube stuff, where they'll have B-roll intertwined into videos, this will immediately take away any reason for them to license B-roll that actual people capture on a daily basis. I mean, it's kind of insane how we're getting to a point where literally anything you wanted can be generated, and a lot of the content that you watch could literally just all be a generation. Now, if you're wondering, oh man, Mudo, what about the AI collapse? Hopefully inbreeding will lead to artificial intelligence dying. Again, the reality of it is with curation in this training data, whether it's original data or synthetic data, it really wouldn't lead to a collapse. Again, there's so much money put into this stuff that I highly doubt any company, and this includes OpenAI, this includes Google, this includes XAI, really the biggest AI players in the game, will not let any of this shit collapse. Because it is actually quite useful, even beyond just generating images. For instance, people who are doing things like investments in like banks are now starting to play around with artificial intelligence to simulate the trades and plays and evolving market conditions. I mean, that's just one example right there. Now, in the example that I don't like and where I hope AI actually does inbreed the fuck out of itself is video games. So recently I was looking at Black Ops 6, which by the way is a pretty successful Black Ops release, a pretty successful COD release in general. One of the largest AAA games, hosted by one of the largest tech companies in the world, Microsoft. Now, this one loading screen from Call of Duty shows Santa Claus, but interestingly, it's not just Santa Claus, it's Santa Claus with 6 fingers. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily AI slop or whatnot. Some have said that that skin was actually deteriorating off of the meat of the actual, or the muscle of the zombie. But the thing is, I don't doubt if a lot of these images could even be artificial intelligence at all. Like, these ones right here absolutely scream possible AI stuff to me. I mean, it doesn't really like ring me as something that would be drawn by an actual independent contractor. And even if it was, I wonder if the contractors they hired out possibly just used AI anyways. And again, nothing stops people generating images with AI and then photoshopping it around to get rid of some of the tell. Now, if the AI generation allegations are true, that literally means one of the biggest AAA games in history, or really just in the gaming world, is now slowly shifting over to AI. Now, recently we had the Game Awards, and they showed a trailer for a game known as Catly, which is wild because this is the same Game Awards where they addressed massive concerns like the layoffs in the industry. And a lot of those layoffs are happening because big AAA companies are making good money, and they're making good money realizing that if they can switch to AI-generated slop, it means paying an artist or paying a game artist or anybody in that, or creative field less money, or just axing the job altogether. Look, it's not that video games are not making money. Yes, budgets can be bloated, obviously. But the reality of it is, these companies, if they can save $5 off of their development, and all they have to do is cut somebody out, they will do that. There is no ethics when it comes to any of these big corporations running these pretty fucking profit-driven enterprises. And when you've got, again, game developers who are actually just tech bros producing shit like this, that is an infestation into the industry that actually will cause a fucking game crash. So for instance, this Catly game, which shows up on Steam, is now referring as an open world adventure filled with surprises and joy, side by side with cats. Build your dream island, meet various characters. Now, if you go to the Wayback Machine, you can see that the original description was not as verbose. The original description was a cat open world with AAA cats, hyper-realism, actions, cuddles, speed, islands, fashion, dreams, snow, robots, plants, all via the most beautiful cats ever. Now, it's kind of wild when you look at images like this cat and you wonder, oh, maybe there might have been some fucking chat GPT thrown into it. Well, the actual developers came out and they were surprised because they don't think there are AI tools that could produce that. So the company behind this, Super Authentic, alright, even released like a gameplay trailer of this title. And the gameplay trailer does not quell the allegations at all. So like you can watch this gameplay trailer over here and you can see that it's just Unreal Engine shit thrown into like this world that they've made. Where again, this is probably something some kid could have made on fucking Roblox, or really any UGC-oriented like live service game, and have gotten away with it. This is nothing impressive. It's like a small world with cats that, again, you can modify in an MMO. And when people started looking deeper into this company, it started to become more readily apparent. So even when Super Authentic comes down and they're like, oh, guys, we don't use blockchain tech or NFTs. Again, that's not even the claim. I don't think anybody should look at AI and immediately think somebody's making blockchain games or NFT stuff. Again, it's just, is generative AI used to produce any of the world, right? So they say nothing was used to produce the video and, in fact, the game. Now, the thing is, obviously, this game could actually be like a proper good MMO, but obviously looking into the history of this company, and even with the actual founder, who was apparently linked to a company known as 10th Planet, where if you look at their Wayback Machine website, you can see where they're making like MMO ARPG games like Mech Angel, God Indenture, but then instantly you also see something like Alien Meow, which is a life simulation game with a fluffy twist. Almost sounds similar to the cat game. I'm not saying that there's assets or code being shared around here, but it's definitely a little suspect in my opinion. And when people started looking up Kevin Young, who is linked to the Super Authentic company, and even, again, linked to that 10th planet, a lot of the LinkedIn started to magically disappear, which is such a great sign when people are really digging into the relation of your company with, again, Web3 technologies. So when you look at their Mech Angel, again, when you go down to 10th planet, you'll see that it was designed by a company known as OX21 Laboratories. So OX21 Laboratories.xyz is, again, all simplified to this, a UI UX designer lab focusing on incubating user-friendly website designs from 0 to 1. And again, the way people linked a lot of the NFT blockchain stuff to at least the Mech Angel game was when you went down their stuff in the Wayback Machine, they were the first NFT DeFi incubator built for product designers for developers. So again, to go down, you can see their projects include things like Mech Angel PFP, which is a PFP NFT. And again, 10th Planet, which is a metaverse, or, you know, as normal gamers like to call it, a fucking MMORPG. So, look, it's kind of rough when you're looking at a game like Catly, which already doesn't look impressive to begin with. If it's already got AI slop allegations now, I can't imagine the game actually playing out to be anything cool. If anything, they might make like a cozy game where people just sit down and like modify cats, and that's pretty much all it comes down to. To be fair, if that is what the game ends up being, and there are elements of it that may be AI generated, the question has to be asked is, do you want this to be the future of gaming, right? Look, at the end, artificial intelligence is one of those things where it's kind of like teetering. Like every day it becomes really amazing. There's new models that come out that can do far better than the last. But obviously there is an issue with AIs hallucinating. Like we've seen so many cases of AIs actually like missing the mark and like putting out some false misleading information. And beyond already when it comes to AI image generation or even the videos that we're looking at, if all of this is so effective because of the information actual humans have made, how much better is it going to be once there's just more synthetic information to be working around with? And what does that mean for the things me and you enjoy? Look, as this gets good enough, there's no doubt that big AAA companies will just cut costs completely for a lot of games and just start using artificial intelligence. The Black Ops example earlier is interesting, right? If AI is possibly being used for calling cards, a minuscule feature of the game, how long until the technology gets so good that instead of hiring an artist or hiring anybody to develop gun skins, they're just going to have AI print that shit out and then put it up for $15 en masse? Look, at the end of the day, AI shit, I think personally speaking, generative AI is a net negative to video games. I think all of these companies trying to produce the biggest game with all of this crazy content is already poison in my head. I think gaming, at least in my opinion, should just be good content that, you know, you don't have to have like a 100-hour game. You know, I'm playing something like Hitman World of Assassination recently, which is certainly not, I would consider, a AAA game to the extent of Call of Duty. It's more in that AA sphere. Like IO Interactive is decent. They're no like big AAA group, but they produce a video game with just interesting gameplay, and even if some of the content feels repetitive, at least none of it feels forcibly generated to the point where I'm looking at it like actual fucking slop garbage. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, wild stuff. AIs, are they becoming inbred? It's a complicated topic. If you're not careful, AIs can literally become inbred to the point of modal collapse. But honestly, if AIs even degrade a little bit and we stay at a point where they just keep producing shrimp pieces tier slop, what does this mean for gaming in the future? What does this mean for games like Grand Theft Auto 7, which you know down the road, just to save on development costs, I'm sure Take-Two at least is going to pressure companies like Rockstar Games to at least start putting in some level of AI. So instead of waiting every 15 years to release a fucking game in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, they can maybe go back to the PS2 era where one generation means they get multiple games. Which some people might be okay with, but honestly, with how some of these AAA games have come out with seemingly AI elements, I'd probably be okay with waiting years, you know, instead of dealing with just more crap. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, just like it I.
Hello guys and welcome to another Steak and Egg special. I'm Emmy, this is Asmund, and we're joined by Lakari and Penta, two of our friends, and we're doing our Christmas special. We're getting a Christmas tree. Woo!
I love Christmas. It's a Christmas episode.
It's a Christmas episode. Yeah,
right.
We're here outside. There's a lake here and a forest.
We just gonna get one of these?
Yeah, no, we were
Let's go.
talking about going out in the woods and cutting down a tree, but we don't have
Apparently
the tools
that's
for that.
illegal, so
Yeah,
we're
well,
not allowed to do
It's
that.
also illegal, and
Yeah.
we don't want the cops to come.
And we don't,
so.
more importantly, we don't have an axe.
Oh,
Sorry.
The middle looks good.
Yeah.
Let's just swim out there and grab that one.
Yeah,
Okay, you wanna
illegal
go do that?
tattoo.
We should just get a tree right now. Yeah, let's just go out there.
So we have the trees over here. We're gonna go look at the trees. We ready to go do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Emmy, what kind of a tree do you want?
Oh yeah, so we weren't sure whose house to put this in.
Yeah, I
but,
was sure. It's not my house.
I think my house is the only one that has space, especially since it's pretty empty. So I want a really tall Christmas tree.
Oh, you want a really big
yeah,
one?
Yeah, like the biggest that we can get. I don't know how.
So Emmy, how are you gonna carry
big-
that?
Oh wow.
With my arms.
Okay.
With my
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, look at this one.
Okay, so you probably don't want to get that one.
This one is awesome.
It's a big fucking tree, but we probably don't want to deal with it.
tree, dude. Look how big that tree is.
This is
Wait,
massive.
let's get that one. Wrap
Can we
it
get
up.
this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking.
Where's this going? Wait, is this like one you could actually buy if you wanted to?
I would think so.
That's insane.
I think this is too big even for your house.
No, I think this would fit in my house.
Wait, actually?
There's no way.
Yeah, it would.
I really
You'll
don't.
see.
Looks like they cut this down to make room for the other Christmas trees. Okay, the question is, this might
Yeah.
be a deforestation thing going
Oh
on here.
man.
Dude, I guess it's like a tree they would ship to you. Like, there's no possible way we could probably bring this back. I don't know.
Well, we could put it on top of 2 cars.
Oh, that'll work. Yeah.
Like a caravan situation.
Like a train.
I have a question.
What?
Should we go through the entrance so it doesn't look like we're breaking in here?
No.
Let's break in this
Like,
car.
there's
Yeah,
an
let's go.
entrance?
Absolutely.
Do you guys think we look like a family?
I think so for sure. Absolutely.
Wait, why am I the
Yeah.
dumb?
I don't know.
Okay, I get it right.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. No.
I want to be the weird uncle.
So is this thing real?
Yes.
Oh,
Are you sure it's
Wait,
real?
sniff it.
Have you guys ever gotten a real tree before?
No.
I would with my parents.
With your parents?
Yeah.
Like also little kid, yeah. But like
Okay.
no time recently. Holy shit, that's a big fucking tree.
That looks like about a 12 foot.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
What do you do when it's dead?
Well, it's already dead. Like that's why it's not connected to the ground.
Listen, when Santa Claus comes, he imbues the tree with magical powers. The tree does not
Yeah.
die. The tree is alive. Everything's fine.
I want the super tall tree.
Let's ask
We have
them.
to get that tree.
Yeah,
I'm all
let's
in on
ask.
Oh boy. All right.
All right, let's go.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Can I ask, is the giant tree in the front there for sale?
Oh, I believe it is. Yes.
Okay, how much does it weigh, you think?
That's easy.
Finn, would that destroy your car?
My 400 can handle anything. Can handle anything. But also, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that might be a little stupid. We don't have a truck or anything.
If you don't get it,
What's
I
the second tallest tree you have?
I think we have about 12, 13 footers.
Oh, a 13 footer. Or can we see those?
They're not as fat, I'll tell you that.
They're not as fat.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm just worried about getting the tree out of the house once Christmas is over.
What do you mean? How would it be harder to get out of the house?
Well, if it's 13 feet, how do I drag it out?
Well, I don't know. You just get it out of there. I mean, it's in the house and you
just
get
the
it
way
out.
you got it in. I mean, you
Yeah,
get it out.
yeah. What do you mean?
It's let it grow roots. Also,
Right.
we know
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be a permanent fixture. Dude, every time like I set up a Christmas tree, it's just there all year anyways.
So,
not even the same Christmas
honest
tree next
question,
year.
Emmy, how long do you think this tree is going to be in your house?
Until like March.
Wow, that's pretty fast.
Wait, that is fast.
So just 3 months.
3 months?
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
You get the Valentine's decorations on it.
Yeah.
That's so smart, multi-purpose.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
spray paint
Good
it red.
idea,
The
Penta.
Valentine's tree, yeah.
Should we get a tree?
I don't think those are.
I think those are like
I think
decorations.
those are like gifts and stuff.
I'll go.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you want to give me a bow? That's right.
They have maple syrup. Hello.
Hi.
What bow do you think would look best on Makari?
That's actually, yeah, it's a good idea.
Can we get one of those? Okay, I will pay for it.
Oh,
right.
and a can. Aww.
Oh, wow.
Finn, do you want a candy cane? Can I have one? Absolutely. They're not mine. I'm now stealing these. She said I could have one. Oh yes. Yes, you have to follow me.
Let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will pay for this and then I'll catch up with
Sure,
you.
I can pay for
Okay.
this, and you can go look at your tree if you want.
Okay,
I got
okay.
this. Yeah, it's your tree.
Okay.
Go, go, go. Okay. All right, so we'll take everything.
I should have never given Penta my credit card. So they said that these trees aren't as fat. I wanted like a tall and fat tree,
A
like
tall
that
and fat tree?
one, but they said it's fucked up.
There's no way. I don't even know how anyone would like even transport this. They're never gonna sell this
We
tree.
could pick this up if we all worked together and believed in ourselves.
You think so?
Yeah. See.
Oh, we lifted it! Oh, we actually lifted it a little bit.
I think that's mostly you. That's
No,
like
don't sell
that was
yourself
like
short.
95%.
You're kind of strong. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Wow, very
Okay.
fast.
Look at that. Now,
Yeah.
I'm like a present.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a present.
You're organic.
Beautiful.
Okay, so this is 13 foot, I think.
That's like 10, 11.
Okay.
We can bring that one out if y'all want to look at that one too.
Okay. What do you think?
What do you think?
seems like a nice
fat
tree.
tree or skinny tree?
We can stand it up for y'all so y'all can get an idea.
I'm all for fat inclusion. I think it's important, fat representation.
Okay.
But you did want a tall one.
I mean, this is what 10 foot. That's pretty tall.
This is about
Yeah.
10 foot.
Okay.
Y'all want to stand it up to look at it?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh wait, that is really tall.
Pretty tall.
Holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
we don't need a 13-foot tree.
That
No.
one's gonna be the 13 footer. That one's 11 to 12.
Yeah. This is tall enough, I think. Okay, well, I think we'll take this one. I feel bad, but you have to hold it up, so we'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all could just go up there to the trailer. So just tell them it's a lavender, and y'all are all set. Then we'll load y'all up.
11 to 12 lavender?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
What kind of car or truck are y'all?
We got a 4Runner. We're gonna mess up his car, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Sorry.
If y'all
Finn.
want to pull around, and then we can load it up.
Oh, you think so? Okay, cool.
Okay, Finn, it's time. Yay, we're gonna put the Christmas tree on your car. Look at this one.
Oh, jeez. Oh
It's
man,
so
that's
baby.
that's
Or
a
this
depression
one.
tree.
No, it's cute.
Wait, I'm actually gonna take this tree.
You
I
want
want it.
this? Okay.
I want
let's-
the smallest
let's
tree they have. I
Get
think
the
this
baby
is
tree.
Oh, there's like water in it. Yeah.
It's for it to.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
No, they need it. Oh, it needs some water.
That's its food.
Yeah. Trees need water. Wait, we need more water for this tree immediately. Wait, Aspen, your water bottle.
Okay, I'll give it half. We give it the good shit.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That was deranged. I know. I almost killed this poor Christmas
Yeah,
tree.
dude, you could get a little star for it.
Yep.
Hang some waifu things on it.
Oh, definitely. Listen, all my 2D anime girls, I know where they're going.
All right, let's go.
Hello. Okay, so they told us to come pay for a
10 to 11 foot
10 or 11 lavender tree,
yeah.
and then we also have this little
This is a
baby
bonus
one.
tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Big
I
tree
think.
time.
Well, we got the trees, and
Yeah.
so are they going to be able to put it on top of the car? I don't want to do that.
Almost feels like, like a sword or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I got like a
weapon.
sword and I got like a shield here. It's
got
like
a- you got a club,
special,
yeah.
unique weapon.
oh,
Yeah.
no, no, disaster! Oh, it's gonna catch on
Let me
fire.
get it. Let me get it.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas gift
Got it.
Thank you.
for a weapon.
Got it. Are you supposed to be able to smell the trees?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You don't smell that? It smells so nice.
No.
Oh, you can't smell the trees.
No. No, I can't.
You smell the gasoline coming from the chainsaws?
Nope.
Oh boy, that's more pungent. What can you smell?
Dead rats.
Those are also in the trees.
Well, sometimes.
Okay, Finn, it's going on top of your car.
I'm totally okay with this. And consent.
Okay, Finn.
I'm not being coerced.
Lakari.
You more?
Feeling a little inadequate there?
Maybe a little bit, but hey, the smaller things in life are, you gotta
Yeah.
appreciate them. Oh my God!
What?
They're like ducks or something. They're like a line of ducks.
Holy shit, those are.
Are those real ducks?
I think it's so. I
Yo,
think
you
it
want
is.
to go look?
Yeah, dude, can we go
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
them?
yeah.
That's so cute. Wait, it's like a line of ducks. It's like a trail of ducks. Wait, I should go outside more often.
Yeah.
This is nice. Like, what is going on? I'm like so happy
Yeah.
right
Dude,
now.
Lakari saw a duck today.
This is like actually kind of sick,
Yeah.
dude. I got like a Christmas tree and shit. It's like tight. I love this. Oh, they're quacking. Oh my God, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
Dude, this is awesome.
You've never heard a duck quack?
Well, I've never been like this close to a duck.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
How?
I don't go outside.
Oh shit, they're
Oh my
coming this
God,
way.
they're coming up.
Wait, no, they actually can you. I'm being serious.
Wait, Asmund?
Bro, they're pissed. He's trying to catch one.
Okay. Well, fuck you. So we gotta tie the tree down.
You gotta tie the tree down.
Well, I mean,
you know how to tie something onto a car, right?
Oh, I mean, not really. And if it falls off, it's gonna mess up. It really is. It mess up your car, Fenton, but it really is gonna mess up somebody else's car. So I think the best way for us to do it, it's pretty obvious, is we tie it around this.
They didn't say to go get them so they could show us how.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, you'll tie a knot right here. It doesn't have to be tight. You'll go over to this side, this next side, and then pull it as tight as you can. So then that knot can't slip through on that side. And then you'll just run it through a couple times and tie a couple knots into it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who's tying the knots?
I can try. How many streamers does it take to
Tie down a Christmas tree.
tie down a Christmas tree?
I wasn't listening to you.
I wasn't. I mean, I think if we just tie it down, right? I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I could do like.
I wasn't
Yeah,
listening.
exactly.
God damn it.
What do you think, Finn?
Loving it.
It's good.
I trust you. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it's great. I think our side's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Zach just taught me the best way to tie a knot, and I think we're good, guys.
Yep. Can you come check my knot?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you, since I taught you how to, yeah.
I'm the knot guy.
Right.
Let's go.
What do you think? Is this good or?
That's certainly a knot. You've been struggling on that knot for a while over there.
Well, I'm just making sure it's good.
My car's at stake here.
Okay. That seems pretty secure, Asmund. Like, you got like multiple dots, like multiple layers of knots there. Surely it's gonna be secure.
Why is it so far on the other side?
Wait a second.
That's fine.
What do you think?
A lot of creativity. He was an Eagle Scout, I think. So. Could you rank them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This one's by far the best one.
That's great. Wow. How about that? That's wow.
Son of a bitch.
This one
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's fine. That's
not bad, but this one is just not it.
I strive for mediocrity, so that'll do. Yeah.
You're looking all right.
We good?
Thank
you so much, man.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Don't forget the baby tree.
Appreciate that.
Okay, we've brought the tree back to my house. See, my house isn't completely empty. At least
There's a couch.
I do have a couch, and a table, and a TV, and a cat. But yeah, we're gonna set this up. This is Shredder's new climbing tree.
So we got a few of these cut off. We probably got to move these off. And first thing to do is, where is scissors and/or a knife?
Looks like you're getting a knife.
Oh boy. Okay.
A big knife.
A steak knife.
Okay.
This man's making some good pace here. Holy
Yeah.
shit. And your rugs are ruined.
Oh man.
Oh jeez. Okay.
The tree is shedding hard.
Next thing we need to do is, do we have something that we can put this on that will push it up? Like a chair that you do not care about?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
My God.
And, actually...
The other side, maybe?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, really. Yeah, look at that.
It's fucking heavy. So... Yes. Well, it's for us to get this on there and not have it be interrupted.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry about your
I think
car.
that you should be fine if you let it go. Yeah, try and let it go and see what happens. Okay. Everything's fine.
It's such a nice rug.
No, it was such a nice rug.
It's not done yet.
It's gone now.
It's salvageable, I swear.
Emmy, do you have a hammer?
Hey, do you want the normal one, the eagle one, or the meat hammer?
Let's get the...
E-girl.
The two normal ones. And the E-girl one. Okay. So I think that we need to tap this. Yeah. Well, harder.
Such a tender rug.
Jesus.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, careful.
You have to think about it in a way. Do you want the neighbors to hear this? The question. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get.
That's in there.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, that's in there.
It's really not.
Is it
but
really?
It's fine.
No, that's sturdy. That's in there.
Are you sure?
Yep, that's in there.
I've never. Okay, you're the expert.
That's not going anywhere.
Should
Okay,
we
good.
flip the tree over now?
Nope. We've got to make sure that we put these in there.
So now we just.
Okay.
Yeah, this will just twist in there. I think mine might have went in crooked.
That angle doesn't look right, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it'll work out, right? What's the worst that could happen?
Well, it could fall down. There's a situation where it could kill Emmy.
Oh.
That's right.
I'll just find Emmy underneath this tree.
Maybe he just dies one day.
Bro, I do not know how to fucking get this in there in the right way. I feel like an idiot.
It's going.
Well, yeah, but it's going, but it's going at this weird angle. I knew I had it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Or I knew I didn't have it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you got it.
Yeah. How far, Pensa, do you think we should put it into the tree to hold it in
Until
place?
you can't twist it.
Okay. Got it.
Until like it doesn't twist anymore.
All right.
Actually, we might be good to go.
Yeah, I think that we are.
Yeah.
Seems snug.
I think we should pick this up, right? And then move the chair.
I could definitely pick it up from like the middle and like we can.
Yeah, but we gotta get it over there.
Well, I mean, can we just put it and then just push it?
We can push it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
We can push it.
Okay, I'll get the chair.
We're gonna look like some liberal tree huggers.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right, well, I'm just gonna put it down.
Oh.
And then.
Do you want me to put it back over in your room, Emmy?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Got it. Abby, watch out. Abby, watch out. Jesus.
I want help.
Oh. I need a. Okay. Ready? Yep.
Oh, wait, it's tall as frick.
What if look is about to fall over?
No. Oh. Pull.
It's falling.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, man. All right. All right. Hang on to it. Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
In the corner, you can lean
It's
against
gonna-
the wall.
Oh shit! It's fucked up. All right, Emmy. Go into your pink toolbox that I know you have. I need you to get a pair of pliers.
I don't think I have pliers.
Well, how do you not have pliers? What kind of damn household doesn't have pliers?
Wait, what's wrong, Pencil? What's going on?
We need something that will grab onto something
I
else.
need something that can
I
grasp
have a
it.
can opener and a wire cutter.
Okay.
Wire cutters?
Maybe maybe you could use the handles from a wire cutter.
All right, okay. Try to let it go.
Okay.
Oh God, wait.
Let it go.
Shutter move.
You want me to let it go?
Oh fuck! No.
Okay.
Forget it. Oh fuck.
Wait, no, I'm telling you, just lean it against the wall in the corner.
Do you want to just lean it against the wall? Because we can do that.
Well, why don't we do that?
Okay, let's do that.
Are we leaning against the wall?
I think the wall will hold the tree.
Okay.
All right, come on, guys.
Yep.
Yep. Ready? Yep.
It's falling. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall.
Jesus.
It's gonna fall.
Oh.
I can feel it.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I got it. It's scraping the ceiling. Oh. God, it's scraping.
Wait a second, Emmy. Do you have like scissors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop holding.
Actually, I think I have an axe or a saw in my trunk.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Oh, I got it.
Wait.
You good?
Yeah.
Are you good? I got it. Now for me.
I'm gonna let go. I'm letting go.
Okay.
Okay, this is me not holding it. So just keep it there. Give me 1 second. Give me
I
1
think we
second.
have to set the tree down.
Okay, let's set it down.
Okay. Oh Jesus.
Don't worry, I got it.
All right. Okay. I got it. It's like we're softball players. I got it. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
No!
It's on my leg!
Oh God!
No, I'm kidding.
The axe! Get his leg off!
I have an axe. Yeah.
He's gonna take that off.
Wait, no, I swear I'm
Okay.
fine.
Which one?
No, I swear to God, I'm perfectly okay.
I need a non-serrated knife. Okay, this should
How do you
be.
feel about a traditional
should be good.
floor tree?
How is that gonna help?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Well, what was the axe for?
Good job. Well, so what now?
All right. Okay. So now we have to fix this shit, or we can just decorate it on the floor.
We could push the tree while it's on the ground, so we could slide the tree over here, and then we can lift it up against that door.
And that's less space that we have to move it in. Here's what I think we should do.
Too big or too small?
It's too small.
I think that this base is too small.
It's too small.
Who fucked up more? Do you think?
They did.
Yeah. Fuck those.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. all right,
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we all agree we did nothing wrong?
We did nothing
Of course.
wrong.
Nothing.
We didn't do
Nothing
anything
at
wrong.
all.
All right. Thanks, guys.
It was rigged from the beginning. So now what we do
is we take this and we are going to drag it over here.
Okay. Nice.
And now we're going to lift and push it up.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is, so I'm going to be lifting it up slowly. You guys are going to be pushing it over towards me.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you want to push?
Yeah, push it forward.
Oh my god.
Push, no, to me, towards me.
The tree. Oh, okay. Aspen, you're a genius. Oh, well, okay. Guys, it's not looking good down here. Push more, push more. Okay. Okay. And then we're just leaning it against the fucking... You good, Aspen? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sealed behind the tree.
I know, it's okay. It's a worthy sacrifice.
No, we need you.
Push a little bit more.
Okay. Aspen!
Okay.
No!
Where is he? Yeah, how are we gonna get you?
Aspen!
I guess we can open the window up.
I'm very skinny.
We're not sacrificing you for Christmas.
I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
I'm good. I'm totally good.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs to go
And this is it?
It needs to go more.
Yeah.
So we push more?
And now, now you guys push it, and it should come right up.
Lift it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, it's straight. It's straight.
Because I'm holding it. Hold it. Hold it. Wait, keep holding. Keep holding. I'm holding like my life depends on it. Hold on, man.
I don't know what to do now. We're just standing there.
Just moral support, Amy. Tell us we're doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. It looks really straight and really little.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Slide.
And that's it.
Wow, that looks like a tree.
Oh my God. Oh my God, we did it. We did it. It's perfect.
It looks really good.
You like
Aspen,
it?
you're a genius.
We worked so hard on this.
Let's go, baby. Is everything okay?
No, it's fine. It's fine. No.
Dude, this is a cause for celebration.
Man, how about that? Wow.
I think it's time. There it is. Merry Christmas, everyone. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Thank you guys for helping me get my Christmas tree in the living room.
You're welcome.
I'm glad we were all able to go to the farm together.
Yep, that was fun.
Well, guys, hope you enjoyed watching. Happy holidays, guys.
It's Merry Christmas.
Merry
And a Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
Oh, I know by now a few of you people have watched a interesting video by a talented YouTuber known as Megalag regarding a video known as Honey, one of the largest influencer scams. And this is one of those videos where I wanted to kind of talk about a experience sort of with Honey and kind of really dig into this a little further, because I have a lot of things that I kind of want to say about this situation that I think will also shed more light and also help people understand that this is far bigger than Megalag even showed in his video. Now, to give an idea for anybody that doesn't know, YouTube sponsorships are something that you probably see on many other channels, okay? But Honey is a very special case. Years ago, it was pretty much like uncommon, it was pretty much like known that any single large YouTube video that you went to was probably sponsored by Honey, right? So they were kind of like the Raid Shadow Legends of like browser extensions. So if you watch like a Mr. Beast video, you probably saw Honey. If you saw like a video from really any creator, they probably told you install Honey and you can save a lot of money, all right, for free. It's literally free money coming to your account. Well, like my dad and pretty much every adult taught me, there is no such thing as a free fucking lunch. At some point, if any product is free, you are the product. Unless that product also comes with its source code pretty much accessible by everyone, you know for a fact if any company is offering you anything for free, it's never as simple as you think. Now, to go to Honey's website, Honey has, since its inception, been acquired by PayPal, right? And PayPal is one of the largest online web processors. And of course, Honey looks pretty cute on paper, and while obviously nowadays I don't really read much about them, they pretty much work with this cashback scheme known as Gold, a really shitty cashback scheme. But generally speaking, when you go to any web page and you go to a checkout section, Honey, if you have the extension installed, will show up in the corner and say, you want to save some money? Click this button right here. Well, it turns out by clicking that button, you might have actually screwed over the YouTubers that promoted this product. Now, for a quick understanding, let's say that you go and look up, man, I just want to read a review of something like NordVPN. And of course, if you go to NordVPN, this is one YouTuber known as VPN Pro, for instance. Now, VPN Pro made a pretty interesting video, and he provided something known as an affiliate link right here. Now, if you click on his affiliate link, you'll notice that in the URL, obviously it's nordvpn.com/pro, but it also comes with /YouTube channel coupon VPN Pro. Now, obviously, this is a tracking link so that, you know, NordVPN can understand which campaign is working. They can understand if this guy is actually bringing people to their site, and generally speaking, if the sale is being made. So, of course, if you just open up the actual cookies, for instance, right here, like by hitting Control-Shift-I or just inspecting, you can go to the Cookies tab of NordVPN and identify that the actual coupon provided is VPN Pro. So, of course, the further you go down into this situation, you can pick which version of NordVPN you want, and eventually, at one point in this situation, you should see a NordVPN, you should see Honey pop up with its extension. And if Honey can say that they'll save you money, then they'll help you apply rewards. Usually what will happen is you will wait until the final section of this payment in order to actually get Honey to decide to actually give you that option. Now, once you click this apply rewards, what will effectively happen is it seems that cookie may change. Now, in this situation, I'm having a tough time letting Honey do anything on my system because I actually have my own network-wide ad blocking solution, which prevents Honey and some of these dogshit extensions from functioning properly. But if you look at Megalag's video, it pretty much showcases just how bad things can really get. So I'm going to show you a snippet of his video, which kind of proves the point real quickly.
Version of that. So what happened when we got to the checkout page? Well, once Honey popped up, watch what happened to Linus's affiliate cookie after we clicked apply discounts. You see that? Honey came in, removed Linus's affiliate cookie, and replaced it with their own.
Whoa, that's a little shady, mind you. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you might be like, whoa, how could influencers have promoted this in any capacity? And the reality is, if you really think most influencers are going to be figuring out how to check their fucking network traffic, you would be shocked. Now, obviously, this is a scam on the influencer, but when it comes to a scam on the actual user, this is where it gets even wilder. Honey is not beneficial for really any person out there. So going to joinhoney.com business FAQ, again, it's not like this information was leaked out. A lot of this really did require some really talented investigative work, which thankfully Megalag did, and it led people to realize, how does Honey partner with merchants, right? So we partner with brands via affiliate networks to help confirm user purchases, and we get a commission for driving those sales. Now, I find this really funny because, like I said earlier, right, when it comes to that Linus example, or even the VPN Pro example, or any example, if Honey is switching the affiliate or the affiliate coupon cookie, that means that as far as the website is considered, that is actually Honey that is jumping in and driving the sale, even though Honey didn't do any actual work for it. So imagine it like this, right? You go to a Best Buy, there's somebody that walks up to you and asks, hey, do you want to buy this phone? And, you know, you talk with them for like 20, 25 minutes. This guy really puts his effort into selling you that fucking phone. Now, eventually you decide, okay, I want to get that phone. But there's somebody else in the middle of the checkout line that comes up and it's like, whoa, 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 pal. Let me see if I can help you save some more money. And that would be Honey in this situation. Honey decides to go and try to find some extra saving. They cannot, but instead of not letting you move on with the checkout, they decide to silently put on a little sticker onto your product and say, I was the one that helped with the sale, even though they did fuck and all. Now, obviously, in a real environment, that wouldn't really fly by. But it actually goes beyond it and something that I didn't really see discussed in Megalag's video. if you are a content creator that is also promoting technology, so let's say instead of Linus Tech Tips, who's worked with Honey, who's been partnered by Honey, and who's actually gotten his audience to install the Honey extension, imagine if you are another content creator. Let's say that I promoted my Dream PC and I gave you a list of affiliate links as well. Now, I've never worked with Honey, but if you clicked on my affiliate link and you decided to have the Honey extension involved, Honey doesn't indiscriminately figure out if it worked with a YouTuber or if it didn't. If it can switch that cookie out or if it can change that fucking referral link out, it will do that regardless of if it worked with any content creator. And it doesn't go to YouTube either. If you're on a website like, I don't know, PC Gamer or something, or like a tech website, and you decide to also promote a computer and you give people an affiliate link, if your actual user has Honey installed, which around 30 million people appear to have Honey installed, or at least that's what their reach is. If you go to Honey on the Chrome Web Store, 19 million users are apparently using this actual application. So again, if that many users are using it and they're browsing like tech websites, really any product, and Honey is jumping in, they're basically swiping away actual data. They're swiping away actual affiliate marketing effort from people that have actually put 100% of their job into it, right? So that is actually where it even extends beyond it. It doesn't just affect any influencers, it affects the entire internet advertising ecosystem. And for a lot of those smaller creators, right? I'm not even talking about like the Mr. Beasts. I'm sure any money stolen from Mr. Beast, while it will be sizable, is not going to capsize an entire organization like that. Neither will it capsize the Linus Media Group. However, if you're talking about like a 100,000 sub channel who's covering technology, which is, let's be honest, incredibly fucking expensive, well, for them, missing out on those actual incremental commission checks that they get from these advertising deals could actually capsize their channel. And that is the kind of fucking predatory shit that Honey is actually going for. Now, to go in further into their business FAQ, when it comes down to them providing the better deal, because remember, Honey bills itself through its influencers, advertising it as, you never need to search for fucking coupon codes. Honey will provide you the best possible coupon code. Well, that didn't turn out to be right either. So right here, what does it cost to partner with Honey, right? Honey requires a minimum of a 3% commission in order to partner with us, which is applied to each purchase a member makes on your site. Honey requires a minimum of a 5% commission in order for us to enable Honey Gold on purchases members make on your site. Remember, all opportunities with Honey are performance-based, so commissions will be paid to Honey when a transaction occurs, so ROIs will always be positive. And the reason why this is also important as well, too, to factor in is obviously Honey is directly involved with some of these organizations, specifically when it comes to partnerships. Now, one of the things Megalag found in his video, and one that obviously I did with my own research as well, was actually seeing if Honey took advantage of giving you the best deals. And for instance, Honey tells you that you don't have to go out of your way to look for an actual coupon code. But generally speaking, when people want to save money, right? Let's say you go to Green Man Gaming and you look for a coupon code. Now, if you go to Green Man Gaming, you'll find a bunch of these coupon codes, and some of these obviously work, some of them obviously don't. Now, in a lot of Honey's actual codes, for instance, it would try to find you Honey branded coupon codes. It would actually go through this entire rigmarole. But according to Megalag, who actually had found real codes that had worked, and then, Honey would, have an option for you to use those codes and actually send them in. So for instance, if you found a Honey code, you could then go to the add code functionality right here, give them the code, the description, and submit it. And obviously, in theory, somebody at the company is supposed to vet that code and apply it to their database so other people don't have to. Well, according to Megalag, it appeared that even though that he found better codes, it didn't provide that in the system. Which again, goes against the central functionality of why anybody would install this application in the first place. If it's not getting you a better fucking deal, then what is the actual point of using this application? What has seemed to come out here is that this product is inadvertently not good for the influencers that are promoting it. It's not good for influencers that still aren't even fucking promoting it, because of the other batch of influencers promoting their audiences to download this shit. And even if you're not promoting it, let's say your Gamers Nexus is not promoting fucking Honey, they decide to jump down your throat, right? People click on your affiliate links, but because people obviously in the community share viewers, Some other person promoted it. You unfortunately have to suffer the consequences. And for the buyer who is trying to save money, you're not even getting the full effort put into it. The whole point of these extensions is so that you don't have to go through the actual effort yourselves. In reality, Honey is just jumping in and basically getting fat commissions off of effectively no work whatsoever. They're getting the last click in any checkout without ever actually doing anything whatsoever. They infiltrated into the influencer scene by promoting themselves and gaining billions of sponsored viewerships from actual creators for, let's be honest, pennies on the fucking dollar for how much advertising should cost. And obviously down the road, when they've quieted down a little and their actual user base is ballooned up, now you can start reaping in the actual benefits and the rewards. Now, obviously, if you haven't removed the extension, you should probably consider removing it. Obviously, I did it for testing purposes in a quick little virtual machine. But the thing about it is, we never promoted Honey because of things like privacy, right? So obviously, when it comes to VPN sponsorships, I've done them in the past. And I don't have any ill will to any VPN that I've necessarily used in most cases. Because even if I stop promoting VPNs, it's not like I actually stop using them. I do have VPNs for many reasons, whether it be watching geo-restricted content or just having my IP behind another layer for when I stream, or, you know, when I used to play Grand Theft Auto Online before it had the relay, like, IP situation sorted out, and my IP was just getting leaked to every player in the session, and somebody could grab that or pick it off of a database and then just DDoS my actual YouTube channel or my actual, like, internet provider or my router whenever I was live, just to DDoS me and, you know, commit a federal crime that way. In this situation, that's when I use a VPN service, and obviously I don't really promote a lot of VPN services. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, because usually we'll talk with the technical teams to see if they're actually not storing information. Nowadays, the only VPN that I'd ever be willing to promote, and entirely for free, is probably Molbad VPN. And again, they don't even have to consider paying us for anything. I just actually use their service unironically. But even with other extensions like security-focused stuff, it is genuinely a discussion we constantly keep having every quarter to make sure that they're matching their privacy guidelines, right? So obviously with Honey, we never went into it because the idea of free money just never really made any sense. We had to wonder how they were actually making money. And it didn't seem like it was in a way that was beneficial for the creator ecosystem in any capacity. They were spending a lot of money, but it doesn't seem like they were actually, like, their business was properly on the up and up. Now, one instant creator actually jumped into it, one content creator known as Linus Media Group, which I think actually, you know, kind of deserves some scorn, because they had cut their ties with Honey, and they kind of knew about this affiliate link nonsense well ahead of time. So on March 2nd, 2022, one user asked, I left Honey due to privacy. One of the administrators on Linus's forums was like, hey, we ended the partnership with Honey due to the way their service interacted with affiliate links. Essentially, if someone clicked on an affiliate link, for example, one of ours below in the video description, and then if they use Honey, so for instance, the Honey app opens up, they click apply coupons, Honey will override that tracking link even if they don't find you a deal. So they don't jive with us, we ended the partnership, and then they stumbled upon Karma, which it even seems that even Karma might have jumped down that road as well, but I haven't completely researched that organization entirely. Point of the matter is, if anybody at Linus's team fucking knew this, because let's be honest, they're probably more technically apt than 99% of the YouTubers that covered or sponsored Honey, they should have been more forthcoming and discussed this. I know for a fact that Gamers Nexus, had any of this shit happen to them, there would be a fucking scathing video from that channel over, which I think is just, it's a little disgusting, especially when we're all part of the same influencer ecosystem, and ultimately, even if you don't give a shit about influencers, because, hey, you know, I get it, right? Even if you're somebody that only wants to save money for yourself, cool. This still isn't a product that you should even be bothering to install. Even the people who were originally behind Honey are now building something known as Pi Shopping, which again is cashback and coupons. So the same technology, the same actual business is being rebranded and sold to individuals. Now this time they've got AI power turbo apply technology, whatever the fuck that means. And you go down to their website, and obviously this is where it gets even wilder. Their website is not related to shopping, because their website is related entirely to Pi Adblock, which is browse ad-free with Pi Adblock and earn cashback rewards for the ads you choose to see. So again, add that to your Brave browser, which I'm not going to do that. And of course, in this situation, they talk about blocking YouTube ads, which, interestingly enough, this is on the Google Chrome store, and they're promoting blocking YouTube ads, which is against YouTube's TOS, by the way. I wonder what YouTube is going to think about here. But they'll tell you you earn rewards for your advertisements, right? Like, they're going to give you some cash back. And I guarantee you the cash back is so fucking minimal in amount to how much money they're actually making in this situation. Remember, when anybody offers you a shitty cash back, you have to imagine how much of that cash back is going to you versus how much of that cash back is going to them. And obviously, they've got the numbers to their advantage. You're one person, they've got, you know, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people using their shitty platform. Again, to go down into this too, you can see that they're literally made by the founding team for Honey as well. So any of these situations, you should be very careful of. Look, shopping extensions. Listen, if anything is free, you are the product. I think it's not necessarily a state secret that obviously for a company like Honey, utilizing your information to sell to third parties for, again, boosting their product might have been the actual game for it. So while Honey says that with your personal information, they do not sell anything to third parties, right? Now, obviously, when it comes to personal information, again, I'm assuming that involves really personal stuff, but information that has been aggregated and anonymized, like possibly shopping patterns, might be treated differently. But again, to go down into it, they say for cross-context behavioral advertising, including sensitive personal information, for cross-context behavioral advertising, we may disclose your sensitive personal information as appropriate to carry out legitimate business activities allowed by law. Now again, the idea is, do you trust them when it comes to them saying this kind of shit? Well, honestly, that is entirely up to you. But given just the intro example of them switching around codes, I have no trust in an organization like this. And I think this whole, if we're going to call it a scam, it goes far deeper. If this is fraud, the fraud goes beyond just the YouTubers that it's worked with. It affects the entire affiliate advertising ecosystem. And for that, I think that you shouldn't have Honey installed. In fact, I don't think you should have any of these coupon extensions installed, okay? Nothing stops you from even going to like ChatGPT or fucking Grok and asking it to find you coupons for you. Okay, at least that in market, you have a degree of separation, and there's no shady extension that's just switching around cookies without letting the average person know. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like it,
Trump, we're gonna expand the United States.
I was amazed when the president's speaking a lot when he was on the campaign trail. What do you do? And it drives people crazy, but they just say, new audience, I got to give the same message every single time. And sometimes you carry the message and you go, wow, well, it's the same speech. Since the president won, he's putting new things into all his remarks, whether it's the Patriot Awards or what we saw
We're gonna make Mexico a state.
Staying in front of Charlie Kirk's group.
Yeah. I think part of it is like when you're running for office, you want to be very consistent and tell people this is what I'm going to do.
It's about
now
time.
He's won. It's not like he's making some giant crazy turn here. He's just trying to maybe put some meat on the bones of what the agenda is going to be now that he's got the power soon of governance.
Let's watch a little bit from what he said yesterday. Watch this.
Here we go.
So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. We did go on.
Four years of this. We're gonna have 4 fucking years of this. This is gonna be insane. This is amazing. Wow. Is he wrong? No, I think the idea to ban TikTok is totally fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's devoid of all reason and logic, and it's completely unconstitutional. I completely disagree with him in all ways.
TikTok, and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know. On my first day.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking god. This is... Buy it? Yeah. This is gonna be so good, man.
Back in the Oval Office, I will sign a
Fucking buy it?
historic
Yeah.
slate of executive orders to
Did he really say that? He did.
close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country. And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, and we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's
They have to get him to say Doge. We need to get him to call it Doge. Please fucking call it that. If we can get the president to say this shit. Yeah. To the moon. Exactly.
An operation in American history to stop the... We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon
It's actually Doge! Department of Government Efficiency!
They have to get him to say Doge. We need to get him to call it Doge. Please fucking call it that. If we can get the president to say this shit. Yeah. To the moon. Exactly. There is a good chance that, yeah, Doge, you know what? We haven't been to the moon for a long time. Why don't we go back to the moon again? Why not? Fuck. Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time. We might, yeah, let's go back to the fucking moon.
Taking the
It's time.
I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? But no, he's not gonna be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
Oh, there it is. Problem solved.
Panama Canal? Because we're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away.
Yeah. So this is the crazy thing with Trump is that the things that occur to him are things that were on nobody else's radar. We're going to buy Greenland, retake the Panama Canal, make Mexico and Canada states. Oh, and we're going to have a massive nationwide party celebrating 250 years of the country. Nobody is thinking about this shit. Nobody thought about it. Until this.
Gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. It was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
He's not even, guys, it's almost a month until he's even the president. By the way, the Panama is completely fair. I don't know. I mean, like, if we built it and they're, you know, they're disadvantaging us, then yeah, fuck them. I don't, but I'm not like, what the fuck do I know about this? Feels kind of gangstery. Really? So you think that the guy that's worked in New York real estate for 50 years, that's had hundreds of lawsuits of people that have had bad business relationships with him, you think he's operating like a gangster? No way. No, there's no. No. There's no shot that would happen.
So those are some of the things I was talking about. So he's talking about an Iron Dome for the country. I want Greenland from Denmark.
Wait, what?
And by the way, I want the Panama Canal. So I asked the brain room about the Panama Canal. They said there's no proof that that China owns any portion of it. We use 72% of all traffic is American, and the prices did go up 15%, nearly $5 billion over the last year. But they say it's because of low water levels, and they have to slow down the amount of traffic that goes through. But you know what? Rattle their cage. Make them justify it. And let's see if we can get those prices down. After all, we are a frequent customer.
I do think part of this, though, is national security. You think of Greenland, for example.
Man.
The Arctic is a major, I think, battle area for the future in terms of who controls the Arctic. And I think the same applies to the Panama Canal. China may not control it, but they, my understanding is, have some very strategic interests in that area. So part of this, I think, is Trump starting a negotiation with, we want the whole thing back.
Check Twitter. He made a meme about it. No, he did not make a fucking meme about this shit. Let me see if I can find it. No, he didn't. He did. Wait, what's Truth Social? No. Yeah. Welcome to the United States Canal. This is the content president. Oh my God. Oh my fuck. This is amazing. How is this happening? Content farm? Yes. He did one for
then
Canada.
The Panamanians might say, well, hang on.
No, he also, by the way, you bring up a good point. He did do another one for Canada. Where's the Canada one? He's tweeting so much. I can't even fucking find it. It's from what? Yeah, there's so many. That one's gone. How's this amazing? Imagine the becoming Chinese president doing the same thing. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I miss this so much. Yeah, like the foreign policy with he said with North Korea, he just told Kim Jong-un to chill out. Like, oh God.
But let's have this conversation. Trump just announced yesterday his ambassador to Denmark, which owns Greenland. Can you imagine having that job now, or being the ambassador to Panama? You're going to have a busy opening few weeks here.
I think it's one of the PayPal Mafia. It's Ken Howry, ambassador to Denmark. So I think he's probably like, good. I want something
I'm sure
to
he
do.
put that person there with this exact thing in mind. He posted on True Social. For purposes of national security and freedom through the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. This is something that he brought.
So for purposes of national security, so we're gonna get okay.
Not ready.
All right. So we're at 53 states then. Mexico, Canada, and Greenland.
During his first term in office in Denmark, which, I mean, Greenland's in a
Bro, this is Manifest Destiny 2.
Of sovereign nation, but under the
Jesus.
Kingdom of
and
Denmark.
Panama, true.
Authority, I guess.
Sovereignty, they're within that
it's an
kingdom.
autonomous nation.
Yes.
Anyway, Donald Trump was mocked for saying it, but he clearly has a plan for why he wants to control Greenland or take it under the United States umbrella. And one of the things I'm just pure speculation here is he is talking a lot about how to get criminal illegal immigrants out of our country. And if countries like Venezuela that we don't have relations with won't take them back, maybe he'll build a facility in Greenland and ship them there. That
Guys. This is fucking oh my god. This is nuts. Wow.
Would for sure be a deterrent for people to come to the country if they know that they're going to Greenland.
Very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it this way.
They do that
I
in
think
Russia.
my prediction, we get it.
Like, get it?
I think we get Greenland. My prediction,
It's huge.
What's say to December 23rd?
Yeah.
December 23rd, 2024. I believe by the end of his term, we'll get Greenland.
Okay, so
because he loves real estate.
Yeah. Mark it down.
Right, and we'll see. And I'll tell you what, I'm wondering what Denmark needs from us.
Or I wonder what Greenland has to say about this. I don't know how they would feel about
They
it.
do have a government.
A couple fun facts about Greenland.
What?
Do you know the population of it? 56,609.
We get Greenland?
9 people.
That's not a
and
lot.
that's because 75% of it is covered in a sheet of ice.
That's where we'd put the people. That's where we'd put the that's where we put the criminals. Put them on the ice.
Capital city.
Yeah,
is
it's like 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You have like this new place, and then you have a place to put all the people. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never have picked Nuke.
N-U-U-K, right?
That's right.
Right. So Iceland's nicer than Greenland. And the Vikings are responsible.
Yeah, Iceland is greener than Greenland.
Which is weird.
Greenland is icier than Iceland.
The way I learned it, and a lot of times things don't come out correct, but I remember people told me that the Vikings looking to throw off visitors would name Iceland, so no one would come, it's nice, and they named Greenland.
I think that's probably true.
Like a psychological
thing. Fran Tarkington?
I don't know whether this is true, but that's what I learned. Yeah.
Somebody
get the brain room.
Where's Leif Erikson when you need him?
I know. Or at least,
Finland soccer.
I bet you there's truth to that. I remember learning that in school.
Right? Those are the type of things that you expect on a news network. I bet you there's some truth to that. Carly definitely tried to back me.
My speculation on why Trump wants Greenland could be totally off.
I wonder what people in Greenland
As soon
think
as you
about
start
this.
saying, like, this might not come out right, but I'm just like holding on to the couch. What's going to happen?
I should save that for radio.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
This is so fucking funny. I think that we are in for probably the most crazy and unpredictable next 4 years that we've had in like my whole life. I think this is going to be a wild fucking ride. We are for sure. Yeah, because like last time Trump was president, he was a bit of a pussy, you know? Like there were a lot of, big things he ended up not doing. This time around, I could just see him saying, fuck it. Yeah, yeah, too many people blocked him. Yeah, but now there's less people blocking him. Man, want to be everyone's friend? Yeah, I guess so. Wonder what the stock market's doing in relation to this bullshit. My understanding is that it went up. Like, hasn't the stock market been going up with Trump? Like, because people are assuming that Trump is going to do good things, and so, yeah, it has. It's booming. Yeah, I think it's probably not going to go up forever, right? I mean, I think it's all perspective. But, yeah, he doesn't have to care about a re-election? Yeah, I know. Having a sea that surrounds Greenland could create a shorter trade route with Europe. The ice melts. Maybe because he knows climate change is real, and we have to get ready to go to Greenland when, like, maybe this is like the 300 IQ play, is that he knows that with all the drilling, we're gonna end up raising the temperature of the entire Earth. So we're gonna buy Greenland ahead of time, so we can take all of the people from Florida and put them over there when all of their stuff goes underwater. I feel like in a way, right? I mean, you could. That's so smart. Yeah, he's thinking, yeah, bro, this is
5
the 4D
steps
chess.
ahead.
Oh, God. Is there rare minerals and gold under the ice in Greenland? The trade routes aren't new discussion. It's been going on for a couple of years. Yeah, I guess so. I've never even heard of this shit. Trump wants to submit his legacy bigger than the last 20 presidents. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but it is fucking insane. I'll watch this other one too. People trying to say, like, this is the new, people trying to say that Elon Musk is the president. They try to, like, start trouble. Try to, you know, make drama. This is like, it's funny to see mainstream media and people doing this. Because they're doing the same thing that Twitch viewers do. Where they go into like, oh, did you see what he said about you? Oh, he said you weren't so good. He said you fell off. It's the exact same thing.
President-elect Donald Trump making his first public remarks in Phoenix since nearly sending the government into a shutdown. Earlier today, Trump spoke about several hot-button issues, including taking back the Panama Canal, renaming America's tallest mountain, and his border and immigration.
Wait, renaming America's tallest mountain?
These plants are dead.
I'm telling you, man, like, this guy is thinking on another level. It's a whole... He thinking about shit people never even thought about.
This isn't the same fungus from back home.
People, what are they going to name it to? Yeah.
Policy
it's a good
that
question.
Would start on his first day back in office.
Yeah.
On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country.
Oh.
And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Oh.
The incoming president also giving his take on his relationship with Elon Musk.
Oh, here we go.
A persistent talking point among Democrats that Musk is acting and will act as a shadow president.
I think it's so fucking funny. Yeah, there we go.
The new one is President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No.
He's a rogue? Yeah. The shadow president. This is the shadow president,
Elon's
guys.
done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on?
I think that it's really bright. I want to change it. I think that the entire argument of like Elon Musk being a shadow president, I don't think it really works very well. Because a lot of people view like Biden's presidency as being a shadow presidency also. So like, I don't really see people like taking this seriously on like a mass scale, because I think that people have that same perception about Biden now. So it's like, okay, well, it wasn't a problem then, but it is now. Like people, and this is the reason is that, I've said this before, right? Like, an average people, like, really hate hypocrisy because hypocrisy is an insult to the person who you're trying to get to convince, right? Because you're saying, like, I'm going to lie. In your face, and you're too stupid to realize it. And that's why people get so offended and angry about like hypocrisy. And so I think that's the reason why people are not going to take this seriously or care about it. They're attempting to gaslight Trump to drive a wedge with Musk. It's super obvious. Yeah, it's amazingly obvious.
He's not gonna be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
For more, we're joined by Democratic strategist Julie Rodzinski and Katie Frost, Republican strategist and former executive director for the Georgia Freedom Caucus. Good to see both of you. I do want to get to immigration.
It's actually rattled, the little laugh. I think he's trying to make it like it's funny, and I do think that it probably does annoy Trump a little bit. Like, I think it probably does. But I don't think it's going to affect anything.
Just a moment, but let's start there where the president-elect kind of dropped off, talking about Elon Musk. Katie, I just want to get your reaction to his take there on what's being said about Musk.
Well, it's great to see both you ladies again. You know, this is, of course, the latest talking point we're seeing coming out of the Democratic Party, which is highly ironic, considering the Wall Street Journal report that dropped this week talking about how President Biden has been...
How about that? How about that? Of course. Of course. It's not pre-watched. It's common sense. Anybody... you think I'm a fucking wizard? No. It's obvious.
Struggling to do the job since very early in his presidency. So apparently now it's a point of concern for Democrats, the idea that there might be someone other than the elected president trying to call shots, when that's exactly what's been happening for the last 4 years. I would love to know who's been the shadow president of our country for the last 4 years.
And Julie, I just want to get your thoughts on it as well.
Well, it sounds like this is getting a little bit to Trump, right? Anybody who decides to elevate themselves to even pretend to be on par with Trump, Trump eventually gets rid of. And so I don't give this bromance much time. Katie, the difference is Elon Musk, who's not elected to anything, who's not appointed to anything through a confirmation process, is basically calling the shots and was calling the shots last week. He came out first to scuttle this bipartisan deal that led to a tremendous amount of chaos. And you have the Speaker of the House himself acknowledging that he was continuously talking to Elon Musk throughout this whole process. Who is Elon Musk but an unelected billionaire who has his own interests with this budget, and who obviously, as a result of those interests, decided to scuttle a deal that would somehow, shock or rebel shocks, impact his business in China, among other things. And so, look, this is Trump reminding people.
I think I think that type of argumentation just doesn't work anymore. I don't. The reason why is that I think that if you ask an average person, is the country owned by billionaires, most people would say yes. So them crying foul when Elon Musk is one of those billionaires that's owning the country, I don't really see that you can, like, you can't say that all these billionaires are bad and it's an oligarchy when you had total media control for like over 10 years, really. You had total web control between like Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, and the people that run Google and, you know, all of them. You can't go and say, oh, well, now it's an oligarchy. I don't see average people. I don't see average people buying that. Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah, I don't think that this is a good narrative to push. It's the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, exactly. The only bad billionaires are the other side's billionaires. Well, what I'm saying is like that's the reason why I don't think people are going to buy into it. But Elon Musk directly benefits from Trump politics. Well, the other billionaires directly benefited from the other companies' politics. Like, what do you mean? Like, do you think they're giving them money to cause them to lose? Like, of course not.
Feeling bold. People and reminding Musk, I think, that he's paying attention.
Yeah.
So very clearly, this is getting to Trump, and I'm glad. I'm going to sit back, as I keep saying, and drink my martini and watch this chaos unfold.
Somebody says, well, what you're saying isn't true. Most people don't know how tech and social media works. Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg never did this. See, I disagree with you. I think that average people do think that it's rigged. I do. I actually think that they do believe that it's rigged. And I think that COVID is the best litmus test for that. And I think that the amount of trust that was eroded with the way that COVID was handled, especially with the companies acting hand in hand with the government, I think that that made people infinitely more distrustful. And now I think it is an average perception that people have. Facebook on COVID era, yeah, I really do. I think that if you didn't have COVID, I think your point would be valid. But I think that COVID radicalized way more people than you might imagine. I think it actually like dramatically changed the entire window and what like people see the government in. Damn right it did. Yeah, it really did.
because this is what the Republicans asked for and they're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, Katie, I am curious what you think about...
Sorry, I keep pausing. People keep making comments that I want to respond to. People weren't allowed to spread misinformation during a pandemic, endangering the lives of millions of people. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And people viewed the monopoly that the government had on information as unfair and suppressive and censorial, and it caused them to distrust the government. Yeah, you mean we didn't have free speech? Yeah, exactly. People care more about free speech than they do about disinformation or misinformation. That's just the truth. I think that if you look at an average population, or at least like the average American population, I think that's the truth.
Asked for and they're getting it.
Yeah, I guess, Katie, I am curious what you think about Julie's point there, that Trump felt the need to talk about this. I mean, he's known for paying attention about what's
he obviously knows that people are talking about it. Of course they do.
Being said, he watches news, he reads, he's paying attention to kind of what's out there in the ether, and clearly this was something he felt like he needed to address.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he knows we're talking about it here. It's clearly become a talking point that the Democrats are trying to push. So he's preemptively going to address it.
Yeah,
That's the exact same thing Speaker Johnson did with his gaggle with reporters after the bill was passed